Sorry, give me like 2 seconds.
That's okay. We can vamp.
Because I mean, I don't know why my headphones have decided that they're not gonna connect.
Lovely.
Yeah, like in the middle of us, I was just sitting here not doing anything, and all of a sudden it started jumping in and out of like connecting to my headphones and then to the computer.
Wouldn't be a stream without technical issues, so
Uh-huh.
uh
I thought I fixed this though.
I mean, it's fine. We still got time. And plus, now we can let people trickle in because I did tweet, but I've learned a long time ago that the easiest thing to do for being a streamer is never say what times your streams are going to go live.
Hmm.
Also, there's a thing that I believe it doesn't notify people that are following you until after like 10 minutes your life,
Mm, mm.
Fair.
which is dumb, but
Yep.
Well,
Yep.
it's for those streamers who do like starting soons, which I used to do, but then I realized how much of a pain it was to also try to have YouTube up with OBS. Like if
I
you're
mean, on the
capturing
contrary,
YouTube. Oh, go ahead.
I believe the 10-minute buffer is for like you have people that are aware that you will be streaming, and then you have people that are not. And sure, I think it is a good idea to just communicate once you go live, but it also is a buffer if you have any technical issues and you have to restart the stream and stuff like that,
Speaking of
because that
which, we are
happens.
live, so don't dox yourself.
Eh, what are they going to do? Come, come to the southern hemisphere? I'm untouchable, baby. You cannot get me, bitches.
You heard it here. Citric is somewhere in the southern hemisphere. Good luck.
Oh, but yeah, no, I have been very much looking forward to this. Also,
Yeah.
should probably make sure my character sheet is up.
Yeah. Important
All right,
things.
roll 20. We kind of have to have that open, right?
It does help, yes. We
Yeah.
discovered that during during our session 0.
Uh-huh. Nah, I don't want you to play D&D. I don't want you to no character sheets, no dice.
All theater of the mind. To
Yep.
be fair, there are like people that do diceless tabletop RPGs, just narrative.
Yeah.
There are systems that are designed for that as well.
I have definitely DM'd mapless and diceless systems. I've definitely seen it done and utilized in very good effect.
That was always a frustrating part of 4th edition, when among many things, but that game was impossible to play without a map. It was so specific to like positioning and distance and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I'm glad that we have.
Because
Oh, go ahead. Finish.
yeah, because I used to play with my friends like when it was 3.5, and we rarely ever used a map. Like DM was pretty generous about like, you said you're there, yeah, you make it. Like we were very loose with distances, but it was never like it never came across as an issue. No one had trouble like feeling stuff were unfair. But then we moved to fourth edition, and it was like we had to have like we were forced to have a map on the table, otherwise
Well,
nothing would work.
well, 4th edition was also super like trying to get the World of Warcraft crowd. So positioning for an MMO is much different than positioning for a TRPG.
The one thing I always like be in defense of 4th edition is that it was incomplete. So it was not entirely the fault of the game. It was meant to launch alongside an app to keep track of your turns and everything, because turn action economy and turn management in 4th edition is a lot more complicated, which can be fun, but you need assistance, and those assistance tools weren't there when the game launched.
A hill I will happily die on. 4th edition really isn't that bad. In fact, I would say it's actually a very good tabletop role playing game. I will say it's not very good D&D specifically.
Yeah.
I have seen 4th edition people take like entire worlds and like completely change the system and how magic works, or how different magical items might work or how a setting might work, and it worked really well. But for D&D specifically, I don't think it worked very well.
Hmm.
But the game itself is incredibly solid. The mechanics, the math behind it is very smart.
So, Saris, how are
The
your
one
headphones
thing,
doing? I just want to check.
yeah, yeah. The one thing that I found frustrating at first, but I like in retrospective, I can see some of the appeal is how more locked into specific roles each classes like were. It was much more, as Von said, like oriented to MMORPG type of people. Because I went from playing a fighter in 5e, which was one of the most versatile classes just because of the amount of feats you could get, to playing a fighter in 4e where you were locked into being a tank, and that's all you get.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I just started watching Monty's Dungeon of the Mad Mage game, and I want to say like people always kind of like make fun of the original fighters for being so like weak in 5e, but watching as Zoran plays through with just champion and the work he's doing and a small amount of versatility, not all there, but he fills out the party well. Like I was surprised because I've never played champion.
Yeah.
But yeah, if we're all good, maybe we can start going around the horn and letting people know where they can find everybody. So, Citric, would you like to go first, please?
I mean, they already know they can find me in the Southern Hemisphere.
Let's
Come
go.
here and fight me. No, but hey, I'm Cedric. You can find me pretty much anywhere at Cedric King, and anywhere being Twitter, Blue Sky mostly, and there I'm also on Instagram and Tumblr. I rarely post stuff, but you can see them when I post it. So that is me. I I don't know, San. When don't you follow?
You can find me over on Twitter if you so bravely bold at Zanny_Grim. You can also find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/ZanlessGrim. I've been taking a break from streaming because I've unfortunately had to go to a lot of funerals this month. It's been pretty rough, but looking to hopefully get back to it in around mid to late March. So you can find me there. You can also find me somewhere in the Northern Hemisphere, but that's me.
Ooh, bold.
And Vaughn, go.
I typically go at the end because I have to do the theme song.
Oh shit. Okay. Sheila, go.
You can find me on Instagram. I have a cosplay account there. It's mugimira.cos, mugimira.cos. And that's pretty much the only one I use.
Short, sweet, to the point.
I mean, I wish my ADD would let me have that few socials, but I must click and do things. But yes, yeah,
And
I mean, I'm also on Goodreads, but that's the one I use the most.
Let's go. Goodreads.
I'm there like 90% of the time.
The underdog of social media.
Yeah, I'm gonna link up my Wattpad.
Heck yeah.
Let's
Your A4
go.
account.
AO3.
Mhm.
You can find me, the Dungeon Master, over at pretty much everywhere on the internet at TixDixel. I've got Twitter, I've got Blue Sky, I got Tumblr. I am doing the arts there, and as I mentioned, gosh, what was it last time? I have such bad brain rot right now. Like I am producing art at least in sketch format at least once a day. The brain rot is going strong, so you've been warned if you want to give a follow. But yep, that's where you can find me on the internet. And then I am here bi-weeklies, every second and fourth Sunday, dungeon mastering in this lovely campaign, and apparently every other Saturday. We sure are doing No Love War Extra, aren't we, Vaughn?
Oh yeah, we couldn't even get through the first day of the game. Oh, but listen, we are currently pioneering the Fate Extra CCC translated Adventureverse because I don't think there's anyone else doing it. So if anyone wants to look at Fate's extra where they don't have to like find a sub, we're that.
Yep, and that's how I'm gonna segue over to you because you're a part of that.
Well, yes, thank you. You've already found me here at twitch.tv/BurnoutVaughn. You can find me on YouTube, Blue Sky, Twitter, and on Patreon over at the Burnouts Bar, where now that soon, when Citric is not busy trying to make the stream look so much more better than it should, I will beg him with shekels to help me format some rewards for the people on Patreon. But until then, you can find us on Mondays, where me and Zymicide are playing Wizard Sibs Plays through the Resident Evil 4 make, where we play as our D&D characters from our other bi-weekly Saturday game, Saved by the Spell. And also, I think this week, I might be trapped in the Feywild, because I think it is this week, we might be starting up a new Wilds Beyond the Witchlight game with the Cholta personality crew. And I can't believe I'm going to say this. The title of this campaign is Phase of Our Lives. I'm gonna let that one sink in. Yeah.
Good. Good.
I did.
Excellent.
And as always, I will never take credit for the names of that group. Oh, the puns hurt me. But aside from that, we also have No, we already did Love War Extra, so we're good. So now it's time for me to do this for the first time, and I'm so happy I get to do it and unveil the new theme song for Those Who Wander, done by one X Wiley Willie. So here we go.
But the plain cape also looks like just simple and elegant by itself. So that's what I'm debating it, because I just like I tend to overload designs, and I want to check in if you feel it will it would look more clean without it.
No, we're good.
Same with the ascot on on the neck.
And we are back. Also, Zai, thank you for the 100 bits.
No, thank you, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's because you used the spooky bits. But yeah, no, one thing I just want to say, that amazing song only costs $50, and Wiley's commissions are open. Check his Ko-Fi if you need affordable music.
Pay the boy.
Yes.
Bet.
But that being said, Saris, would you please take us away?
I'd love to. But unfortunately for you, all four of you, we have to start the session off very similarly to how we started our session 0, with all four of you rolling initiative.
Oh boy.
All right.
Ooh.
It's
Oh, that's
great for the
juicy.
11s.
That's juicy. We have a 15, a 13, and two 11s. Oh. Zan. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
I don't know as you are. You find yourself awakened suddenly as we ended our last session. You find yourself in the bed that you went to sleep in the night before, your eyes open to the muted from the curtains hanging over the window, sunlight creeping into the room. You recognize immediately that you are, in fact, as I stated, in the room in the tavern, the inn, rather, that you have been staying in for the past couple evenings as you're in this town. What is the first thing you do upon waking?
Razvan is going to take a moment, kind of feel his face, make sure he's awake, and he's going to rush immediately towards the closest scrap of paper and start writing furiously for a few moments, only to realize potentially how hungry and thirsty he is. He's going to rush downstairs for some breakfast.
First and foremost, you do in fact find a little pad of parchment sitting upon the desk. You know how a lot of times hotel rooms or like in rooms will have that little desk with like a pad of paper on it. You do in fact find a little notebook with some parchment. You yourself, I believe uh, you have a writing utensil. If not, for the sake of ease, we'll say that there is one available in one of the drawers. Were able to get your thoughts down pretty quickly. And as you take note of the hunger cues, you do you like slam the door open? Like, how does this, you said that you were running down the stairs, but for me to give you a sense of where you are, how do you enter the new space as you leave your room?
Roughly, what is it? Does it seem like it's morning?
It is morning. It is
Okay.
morning.
Razvan is going to like very quickly open it, realize people are still potentially sleeping, and then very politely try to close the door behind him before, with purpose, walking very quickly down the stairs.
Absolutely. The hallway itself is rather plain. You'll find very interestingly that they have like little woven mats, like these little straw woven mats in front of each of the doors that sort of um, kind of give you that sort of welcome home sense as the floors themselves are wooden, very easy to slip on. The stairs themselves, you actually, as you dart down the hallway, um, lead towards this very it's not a super large room. Um, as a whole, it's pretty much just the stairwell. But as you reach the bottom of the wooden staircase, you find that the hallway itself becomes almost like a fork in the road where you can go down in one direction or you can go in the other. If you yourself are looking for the, shall we say, front desk and exit, you would go to your left. And you would remember from speaking with the innkeeper the night before that the other hallway heads to what is the attached, essentially, as I said, the attached tavern where food and drink will be provided.
Razvan will happily make his way towards the tavern.
You walk down these halls. I'm assuming taking a note from earlier, probably being cautious as not to make a lot of noise. There's something about the hallways, though. When you had came to this tavern the night before, you found yourself in a position of which everything felt, for the most part, very, very gleeful, very safe, very comfortable. You found yourself in a position where you got to witness people making merriment. You yourself, perhaps, engaging in evening. I wouldn't call them festivities, but sort of,
Merriment.
merriment, taking in the atmosphere and engaging in it in a way that is meaningful for you. Um, but in this moment, something about the hallway itself just feels longer. Even though the sunlight creeps in from the windows, it feels darker, feels lonelier, feels more expansive than you remember it. But you enter into the tavern space and find it predominantly empty. The tavern space itself, the inn itself, I should note, as a whole, is a predominantly wooden building. And as you as you enter, your eyes fall upon a variety of different sized wooden tables and chairs. The floor itself, actually made out of like a stone tile rather than a wood. You see that there is a little bar area, pretty standard, with stools lining it. And you'll notice an individual, a halfling woman with auburn curly hair, who you would recognize as the innkeeper, named Stella. uh, Seems to be doing some type of morning routine, morning ritual. You smell, as you sort of enter the space, the smell of brewing coffee, actually. And you also smell something frying from back in the kitchen, which you know would be the door that is to the left of you on the left wall.
All right. Razvan will very politely walk up to, I guess, the counter or the bar. Good morning. Anyone?
Ah, good morning.
Yes, I would like to purchase some breakfast if you are amicable to sell.
That we are. You'll have to wait just a wee moment, as I believe they're still cooking breakfast. So, in the meantime, while that's working out, can I get you anything like a tea, coffee, uh, water?
Oh, coffee would be splendid, black as it comes.
Dark roast, you got it. As she moves over to what you would recognize to be a standard coffee maker, what we collectively in our modern era would recognize to be like one of those old like hand crank like machines with the custom pour over brewing,
Sure.
right? Where she has to do it all of herself. And she's actually in this moment going to do an insight on you.
All right.
Um, if you are being completely upfront, you know, not really hiding the fact that you just woke up from a tumultuous nightmare, um, then she will just read you. But if you're trying to hide it, go ahead and roll me a deception check.
I don't think Razvan would be in a state of mind to try and hide it. I think he would just be very obvious. His face would be excited yet scared with a piece of paper. He's just constantly looking back and writing down more notes that he remembers.
On your mind?
Oh, where do I even start? It was a dream unlike anything I had ever had before. It has awoken something in me I have not felt in many years. Excited? Nervous? All of it seems to make sense. But I'm rambling. I believe coffee would assist me in more keenly focusing my thoughts.
Well, I'll get you I'll get you a mug as soon as it's brewed, dear. Uh, you know how pour overs work. They do take a little bit of time.
Right, take all the time you need. I will not let an artist rush their work, and as such, I should focus on mine.
She continues to work as you continue to write your notes. And in this moment, I would like you to roll me a perception check.
All right. 19.
19. Something interesting. You had previously, um, you had looked at, just kind of the overview of the room as you walked in, but now upon a second glance, you you find yourself aware now, a little bit more so, of the room, and it's what inhabits it. You notice that there is the area. You remember it very clearly from yesterday, but you notice a little bit more detailed wise of the stage that musicians are able to play on. You get a better look, and you particularly notice it strikes you as incredibly odd how empty it is, completely devoid of any kind of equipment. And I'm not even just talking like instruments themselves, but like stands, stools, places for people to perform. It seems emptier. Your eyes then fall over onto one of the back corners where you see um, this sort of like just designated space. Like there's nothing different about the wall, but it's a designated space where you see handfuls of people had put some type of like flyers, notes, notices, letters, just all sorts of things just adhered almost to the wall. Some of them literally stabbed in with knives of a variety of sort. Interestingly enough, you do a double take and you're pretty sure one of those is a fork. Yeah, that's definitely a fork. Um, and furthermore, beyond that, you notice one other thing that catches your eye, and that is the fact that there is a cat, uh, currently a tabby, sleeping underneath one of the tables.
Hmm. Pardon me, dearest barkeeper, but last night I seem to have gotten lost in a form of gaiety before falling asleep, and now when I awoken, everything seems duller, but also in ways more vibrant. Is this a symptom of my dream, or did something happen while I was asleep?
I don't think that anything happened while you were asleep. Not that I know of anyway, but who am I to say? I slept like a rock last night. Ah, as far as I am aware, um, I could not say. I could not say, but I think you're just used to I think you're just a little used to the levity, if you will.
No, no, no. This is not something I have experienced, at least not like this. This is a muse most vexing that I must understand it. I shan't fly away from it, of course, but uh, apologies. I'm just trying to understand what is happening to me in full. Something felt different about that dream, unique, and I want to get to the bottom of it if I can. However, sometimes it is best for me to think out loud. Others may find that a bit strange, so if I am overbearing, please tell me to shut up and I will gladly do so.
Well, uh, if I'm being transparent, I don't usually get customers up this early. So I don't mind the conversation. I just don't know how much help I'll actually be. Uh, but it does sound like an adventure you went on, um, in your dreams, which I think that's really neat. I haven't had a vivid dream myself, since I think I was a wee little wee little lass.
Ah, we are kin then. I can't remember the last time I have had a dream so remarkably potent, let alone one worth of memory. Thank you for this. Celestials above, forgive me, I did not realize how early the hour was. I myself am not one who's usually awake at this time.
Oh yeah, it is. I mean, typically speaking, we don't have customers come in for like proceeds to like move out from around the back of the bar, heading over towards one of the windows. She pushes the now that you see it, it's this really just plain linen like curtain that she just kind of pushes out of the way. Oh yeah, with the sun that high. Yeah, say it's a bit early. At least an hour. I don't mind it, but we usually don't get customers up and kicking for at least another 30 minutes, an hour.
Heavens. Well, that would explain why the breakfast is not quite ready yet. Still, I am willing to wait. I just curious more than anything. Allow me a moment to tilt my notes further. He's gonna start writing
Absolutely.
again.
As you um as you continue to write your notes, it is similar to what she does state. Um, as time passes, more people start to come into the inn. Roll me one more time another perception check.
22.
Uh, did you see? Someone went out and put up new flyers last night. Oh, you think it's a new sort of mission, some type of beast out for the hunt? No, no. Some weird sort of I'm gonna guess it's some type of entertainment thing, like a bard's troupe going on. I don't know. I only got a glimpse of it, but it didn't look like any wanted poster or mission I'd ever seen. Well, that's bizarre. Usually people only ever post notices if they want work. And you kind of hear this conversation emerging as a duo of they both appear to be human, rather plain and ordinary in their visage, um, entering into the space from that same hallway that you entered.
Kind of taking notice of both of them, Razvan will pick up his notes, and hearing that conversation, will kind of realize, like, oh yes, that is something that is new since last night, and he'll go investigate the what should be a bounty board.
Fair enough. You, for the sake of things, with advantage, go ahead and roll me a investigation check.
All right. 13.
It's not hard to find, fortunately. Um, Especially with how much it actually stands out to you. It's this oblong piece of parchment that's very well decorated and ornate in its print, actually. Um, you will find, uh, Razvan, in your journal, the flyer that they were talking about.
All right, he will inspect the flyer.
Like I said, it's incredibly ornate. You personally have not seen that kind of print. Like, how do I put this? You come from a society in which printing presses aren't a thing.
Okay.
This is incredibly ornate. This is like the art. You stare at this for a moment and you question whether or not this was actually done by hand, or if this might have been done by some other means, because the font on this flyer is incredibly pristine. There's not a single smudge on it, and again, the artwork that's quite literally bordering it, with all of these different fancy filigrees, is just it's perfect. There's not a single spot out of place.
Interesting. What's it seem to be advertising in specific?
Again, you'll find in your handouts, but it does read, Sir Wheel and Company presents the Grand Carnival, exclusive entry, featuring dazzling and amazing acts by Charlotte the Fire Eater, Tyndall the Barker, Professor Picali, and so many more. Entry permitted, one ticket. Uh, Entry permitted, one ticket per entry. And in this moment, as you sort of take the flyer in your hands, you'll notice an envelope fall out from behind it onto the floor.
Razvan will look around, see if anyone else noticed.
No, doesn't seem like anybody else noticed.
He will quickly grab it and try to open it.
You open it with ease, it's not even sealed. You stick your hand in, you pull it out. It's this oblong, square, almost, I would say about 2 inches by 4, maybe 4.5 inch wide piece of parchment that says Admission 1 on it.
He's gonna very quickly kind of stuff it into his coat. Perhaps this is fortuitous. A traveling group of bards on the eve of my simply returned muse? This cannot be coincidence. But still, first things first, coffee. He's gonna go back to the bar.
And as you emerge back at the bar, there is a mug of coffee sitting in front of you.
He will gladly drink so and detail out his dream as best he can.
For my sake, why don't you go ahead and roll with advantage a history check?
History with advantage. We got a 12.
You do a decent job. It's clearly not your best work in writing everything down, but you're able to surmise the major plot points, the things that you took note of throughout the adventure, and any additional lingering thoughts or inquiries that you might have, you're able to jot down to the best of your ability.
This won't do as a final copy, but a good first draft, at least at first. Let me think. Breakfast, coffee, and then I suppose I should go invest in this carnival. Barkeep, do you know anyone else going towards this carnival?
The carnival. Oh, right. I saw those flyers. People hanging them up. Yeah, I don't know, as I've seen too much. I've seen flyers hanging up, but I don't know as I've ever seen a carnival. I'm not even sure if I know. Thanks for a minute. Yeah, I'm not even sure I know what a carnival is. I've never heard any of those names before. But I think it's exciting.
Well, a carnival is certainly typically a display of merriment, as it were, at least for a price. But, well, very well. If no one else is going, then I shall go alone. Yes, that is where my adventurous heart must seek to find this muse again. Thank you again for your clarity of self and presence of mind, as I clearly do not have at this moment.
And she kind of gives you a nod as she walks over to the kitchen door, and she gra- sort of props the door inside and goes, "Oi! We got some hungry people out here. How much longer on those eggs?" You hear 5 more minutes. Well, hurry it up then. Make sure they don't burn. And again, 5 minutes pass, and the door opens, and you smell what feels like a heavenly smell in this moment after all of the rot and the grunge and the gore that you smelt in your dream, which still lingers in your senses. Smell of freshly baked bread, eggs, cooked bacon is sat in front of you with, of course, your dark roasted coffee. You are able to enjoy your breakfast.
Razvan is going to think to that strange beating heart he saw in a dream and kind of let that rhythm compel him once he has eaten his breakfast and gotten his coffee in him to get some form of outfit and get himself pieced together before taking the invitation and heading out towards where he believes the ground carnival would be.
You head outside, correct?
Yes. Oh, also paying for his tab, of course.
Of course, of course. It's not super expensive. It's 3 copper pieces for the whole ordeal.
Done.
And you head outside into the very, very busy. Give me 2 seconds to finally turn on some music. Um, you find an incredibly, incredibly busy road. Just the streets themselves becoming more lively as people begin to do I suppose morning setup is the best way to word it. Like I said, give me just a second to get that audio going.
Take your time. Ask me to finish my notes.
Okay, and audio check. I'm gonna make sure that volume isn't blaring. Audio check.
Nothing's coming out on my end yet.
Nope.
I see something playing, but I don't hear anything yet.
I don't hear anything.
I'm hearing it on my
Oh,
end.
I hear it now.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Back to mute.
Even as you walk outside and you see people busy doing their daily shall we say routines, people going and taking care of livestock, opening up shops. There's something particularly profoundly lonely in how individualized everyone's tasks are. Once again, that sense of merriment, that sense of joy, that profound abundance of excitement that you had seen in the night previous is just gone.
Has something truly changed, or is it I who have changed? It's strange. This all seemed so normal yesterday, and now it seems so foreign. Huh. Perhaps this carnival will do me some good. And he'll try to just kind of brush himself off mentally and continue to head where he believes he's meant to go.
You follow the road, and as you pass by various different places, very different, like sort of those little billboards that in news posts that sometimes you'll see around towns, you continue to see more flyers. And something that strikes you as odd, you don't need an insight or a perception check to pick up on this. Everyone else seems to be ignoring them, except for one. You notice a little girl, only standing at about just shy of 5 feet tall. Her hair surprisingly well kept in its dark brown in a little bun, her little pointed ears showing. She seems to be wearing probably the most, aside from, of course, the morning sun, color and vibrancy that you've seen in a while. You see, particularly interesting, while still being a commoner's dress, you notice that the corset itself, the external corset, is pink lined with little white flowers embroidered all over them. You see that the skirt itself is white, and yet at its hem is ombreed into, once again, this very pale pink. And you see that this little girl is staring up, looking specifically almost like she's trying to reach the flyer for the carnival, but cannot quite reach it.
Razvan will smile, seeing the same excitement seemingly gripping this little girl that grips him, and will very politely move the flyer down so that she can grab it.
Oh, thank you. Ah, I wasn't exactly trying to grab the flyer, but I guess this works. Are you interested? Are you coming?
I am quite interested, though you seem to be the first individual who is also wanting to partake in some form of elated merriment.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I heard that that someone was taping tickets behind the flyers, and I don't know. Some of the other kids said that it was I did that there would be a ticket there, so I wanted to look and see if there was a ticket, but I guess someone else took the ticket already.
Hmm. I am on my way there. Perhaps if we keep looking, we might find a ticket. My name is Razvan, by the way.
Oh, nice to meet you. It's nice to meet you. Um, my name is Lily, like the flower.
Oh, how wonderful. Yes, Lily, let us venture closer. Maybe we can find a way to either maybe another flyer that might have one of these tickets behind them, or maybe we could purchase the tickets together.
Yeah, that would be good. That would be really good. We should go. We should go. And she like takes your hand, like I don't know if you've ever had your hand stolen by like a child who has things to do and places to be, like that vice grip. But the child now has your hand, and you watch as, interestingly enough, she doesn't aim towards any of the other flyers. She doesn't stop to look. She doesn't pause to look for a ticket. She's beelining. She's beelining for the woods.
Lily, are you certain we're going the right direction?
Yes, the carnival is. You said you wanted to go. We should go.
Oh, who am I to take away from the whimsy of your fancy? Let us move forward. Yes, of course.
Maybe if we get there early, maybe they'll have extra tickets.
Ah, quite intelligent deduction. Yes, Lily, lead the way.
She does. She leads you into the woods, deeper and deeper. The sounds of the different happenings in the town begin to fade. And surprisingly, despite the sun in the sky prior, as you continue into these deep, dark woods, following the path, it is in fact a set path. You notice as the world around you begins to grow dark, and thunder rolls, and fog begins, or better yet, mist begins to roll in, seeming to stop at the edge of the forest where the foliage parts to create a path. Do you continue to follow?
Uh, Pardon me to end potentially your joyous rhapsody, but Lily, I'm not certain we are going the right way. Are you certain?
I am. This is where the carnival is. We're heading to the carnival, right?
Yes, but if you notice, it is no longer daytime, and there's a strangely familiar mist that surrounds us now.
Pauses, begins to look left, and she looks right. And she looks back up at you with this confused expression. Not confused at the situation, but confused by you. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, this is where the Do you not want to go anymore? I mean, I'll take your ticket if you don't want to go. That's fine.
have you been here before?
I have. I have. I was here the last time it came into town.
I see. Oh, very well. Razvan kind of thinking to himself, realizing that if this child has been here before, it might be safe. But also, he kind of got her into this situation that might not be safe. So he's gonna kind of bring back a smile to his face. Well, let us both become bewitched by merriment. Move ahead. I will follow you graciously.
For the sake of things, roll me an insight check.
18.
On second thought, are you sure that's a child?
Kind of looking and seeing the strangeness of what he thought was a child at first. Uh, Lily, perchance, as we're walking, of course, continue to lead the way. I don't mean to interrupt our path. Um, how old did you say you were?
Hmm.
How old are you?
Enough. I can go by myself.
No. I'm simply curious. You remind me of a dear cousin, and I was curious if the ages were similar.
Old. It was rude to ask a lady how old she is.
Oh, my apologies. I did not realize I was in the presence of a lady. Then I shall act most accordingly, more cordial. Kind of give a very polite bow, but very obviously being a bit more nervous now.
Sticks her nose up a little bit. Kind of one of those like you know how little girls do when they're being little snooty, just a little
Okay.
bit. Um, kind of, but does not let go of your hand and continues to trudge forward. And as you do, the world around you starts to shift in the way that it looks. The trees begin to grow taller. The branches longer. The mist thicker. I would like you to roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. That's a natural 20 for a 22.
Okay. There's a moment where your vision goes a little fuzzy, but you steel yourself and you continue forward. In the distance, you begin to see dancing, flickering lights of blue and green and pink, but hazy from the oncoming mist. It looks like it's down a ways. They seem to be dancing over the path itself, into the trees, out of the trees. Seems like you're about to walk directly towards it. And this entire time, your guide does not let go, and she does not relent. And that sort of tawdy air of "I told you so," and "I'm super excited," and "we're just going and we're going and we're going," doesn't fade. Doesn't fade at all.
Well, Razvan, you wanted to find a muse. Here it stands, or rather skips. You'll try to steal his mind and realize he's probably into something much larger than he expected, but he's here, and it's better than getting lost in the mist, so he will follow.
I would like you to roll me another Constitution saving throw.
Okay. A soft 20.
Still continue to steal your mind. You continue forward, and something odd. You look over your shoulder, just out of morbid curiosity. That little voice that tells you, "Hey, you should look over your shoulder." The path behind you has been fully engulfed in mist. You can't see your way back.
Rosvan's gonna kind of take a deep breath at this realization, trying not to let the panic sit in. He's gonna try and force his hand away from Lily.
All right, go ahead and roll me. I would say this is going to be a grapple check.
So, athletics?
Yep.
Natural 20, 22.
Oh my gosh. What is your strength, your athletics modifier?
2 total.
You go to rip your hand away. and her grip tightens. You're almost certain of it now. That's no child's grip. That's firm. That's experienced. Your fingers are starting to ache.
He's gonna realize the kind of situation he's in, and with his free hand, going to try and pull out his rapier. Unhand me, Lily. I will only give you this one warning.
Wanted to come to the carnival. That's not going to happen. No, sir. Nope. And there's a sharp grin, like fanged teeth that crosses her face. And she kind of does a spin, letting go of your hand, and she herself becomes wrapped up in the mist and vanishes in front of you, leaving only the path ahead and the dancing lights in the distance.
Oh, Razvan. Perhaps you were on borrowed time as it was. He's gonna try and collect his breath the best he can, knowing the only landmark he can really see are these lights. And he's gonna try and trudge there a bit more defensively and cautiously on his own.
Roll me one final Constitution saving throw.
Natural 20. What is going
Oh my
on? 22.
gosh. You once again feel the world going hazy, for a moment even seeing double. The woods themselves begin to grow larger, darker. These lights, brighter, more vibrant. Something about even the bark of the trees, the grass and the leaves almost becomes tinted with a shade of gray. You aren't even sure you're in the same woods that you entered. And as you come into a clearing, I'm going to pause you there.
All right.
How are you feeling?
Feeling good. Got a lot of notes to catch up on now.
You have
Fair
lost your
enough.
right to complain about the roll 20.
Yeah, I was about to
I
say.
know. I don't understand. This never happens, and I'm really scared for the future now.
Yeah, like I said in chat, leave some for the rest of us, man.
And with that, Branson, or I should ask, Vaughn,
Mm-hmm.
are you ready?
Yes.
You find yourself greeted by the feeling of rain, the sound of lightning and thunder. This time, though, as you wake up, you find yourself actually in your camp that you had set up in the middle of the woods, not in the middle of a shack, though that felt very real. And again, as previously stated, when you check your pockets, you do, in fact, find what you found in your dream to be real, corporeal, and in the flesh, so to speak.
He's just gonna like give a loud huff, just kind of like, and then he'll check around and immediately since he is awoken and he doesn't know his surroundings, he's going to thumb open his hooded lantern.
Okay. You thumb it open.
And what is the color of the light?
Normal.
Okay. Well, he'll see that, and he will repocket the money he got, if anything, because he's thinking of something he might do with the silver instead of like using it for coinage. And then he is going to try to remember where he is and what he was doing.
A quick point to note.
Mm-hmm.
When you look at those silver coins, they're not silver. from where you are from. You notice on them, interestingly enough, is the carving, the engraving of a raven.
He'll take note of that and step up. He'll probably pull on his hood since it's raining and survey his surroundings and see if any sign of movement. Like I said, he's just trying to remember where he is and what he was doing.
For sure. You're in the woods. That much is obvious. But specifically, you were following the path that you believe that you were sent on. You have been traveling here for some time, looking specifically for mists, signs of mist.
Mm. And the voice has led me here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Branson will then just get his gear. Uh, he will unsheath his axe and not really keep it at the ready, but just have it in his hand at the basically the bottom, like holding it, and then just get his gear and start traveling and looking for signs of the mist. Also keeping his lantern open just in case.
Roll me first a perception check, followed by a survival check.
Okie dokie dokie. There's perception. Perception's a 14, and survival is a 19.
You, first and foremost, get a glance of the sky. And as lightning cracks across it, you notice three different strands of lightning, all flashing across the sky at the same time.
Hmm. Are there
For
any?
survival.
Oh,
Hmm?
go ahead. Oh, sorry, I didn't know you were still going. Go ahead.
Nope, you're good. You're good. You first.
Oh, okay. I was just gonna ask. Are the strands of lightning pointing in any like specific direction? Like, I know that's gonna be ahead of me because that's how you would see the lightning. But just trying to track the quick flashes and just use it like a compass.
Heading downwards towards an area of the forest, it seems.
Okie dokie.
Off down the road that you've been following.
And for the survival.
No currently of any mist. However, a few things immediately to note. Number one, those are paw prints in the mud. Fresh. Something was here. Second, you notice, almost immediately, the presence of some kind of slashing along some of the trees. Like deep into the bark. And last, certainly not least, you notice footprints heading down the path, veering into the woods, and then reappearing back onto the road after some time.
And these footprints are different from the paw prints I saw, correct?
Correct, they're boots. They're boot prints.
Okay. Do they seem to have been following the paw prints?
Hard to say.
Hmm. Okay.
On a 19, I'll give you this.
Uh huh.
The reason it's hard to say is it looks like the paw prints are kind of spattered all over. On a second thought, it looks like there was some type of fight here. And it's a wonder that you missed it.
Hmm. Now I'm just going to ask one simple thing I think it'd be easy to check. Judging by the size of the paw prints and the spacing of the claw marks on the slash trees, is it a big something?
When you say big something, what do you can you clarify that just a little bit for me?
Oh, simple. Like, if I was looking at, like, say, the size of a wolf or a dog versus, like, the size of a bear or something, it's basically just wants to know if this something, like, what size creature is it he tracking?
I say pretty medium sized.
Hmm. Okay. Well then, Branson will pull out his little black leafed book, and I would like to do an Arcana check to see if I have anything on things that have paws and move around in forests.
I would say this wouldn't be Arcana. This is more likely to be nature.
Fair enough. That's a natural one with a 21 on the other side. Oof.
That nat 20 on the other side, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's the flaw in the system is that while it looks canine in shape, you couldn't necessarily pick out what kind of canine.
Well, I was more wondering if, because we had this talk many, many moons
Mm-hmm.
ago,
Mm-hmm.
but what would they classify as undead? Is all I'm asking. Like,
You
not as a
don't
creature type, just
you,
huh?
you don't know.
Fair enough.
They're canine and you can tell that they're canine in nature, but whether or not they're alive or undead is
Hmm.
oh, it's hard to say.
Well then, Branson will choke up on his axe, bring it to more like get his hand about halfway up the handle, so that way he can use it at a much like quicker speed, and then he is going to follow the footprints off of the trail.
Move off into the trail. Roll me another separate survival check.
Will do. That's another 19.
You are able to follow the tracks decently well. It's interesting. They move deeper and deeper and deeper into the woods. That howling, by the way, is canonical, and you hear it. Um, but the footprints themselves stop. They stop in front of a cluster of mushrooms of various shapes and sizes.
What is with our groups and not being able to escape mushrooms? But yes, Branson will keep his head on a swivel, and as always, before he goes ducks down and like makes himself a much easier target, he will again check the color of the light.
Still normal.
All right, then he will slowly and cautiously, in case, because he doesn't know how far away something might be, he's going to take a knee and examine the mushrooms.
Exactly do you want to know about the mushrooms?
Well, basically,
Uh,
if anything stands out, he would not know much about mushrooms. His skills lie in
sure.
survival over nature.
Sure, absolutely. They're in a perfect circle.
Oh, that is. I am doing the Fury Road. That's bait. Branson will, because now things are starting to get unnatural, and I'm so glad I prepared this today. Do detect evil and good. So, is there anything pinging within 30 feet of me?
So, The spell specifically looks for creatures, but I'm gonna be nice because it says, similarly, you know there is a place or object within 30 feet of you that has been magically consecrated or desecrated. I'm going to warp the meaning of this spell
That's
briefly
fine.
and how it functions for the purposes of this.
Hmm.
Because instead of it being consecrated or desecrated, you feel that that place itself is magically like heavily concentrated with Fey presence, shall we say, essence of Fey.
Hmm. Well then, since he knows little to nothing about the Fae, he will look around. Uh, are there? I know what there probably are, but is there any like rocks, like just a decent like hand-sized rock?
Sure.
Yeah, he will take that and using his limited intelligence score, he's going to experiment. So he's just going to uh, underhand toss the rock into the approximate center of the circle and see if anything happens.
What rock?
Oh, the rock is gone.
The rock is gone.
Well, is it gone as it went into the circle, or is it gone as it just teleported out of my hand?
As in, when it entered the circle, it vanished.
Hmm. Well, he is looking for a way to go someplace that he does not know how to get to. So I guess he will try it. He will take a breath, keep his axe at the ready, and step into the circle.
You step into the circle. The forest around you changes in shape. What was originally very carnivorous is now very deciduous, is now full of death and decay. The branches seeming to elongate almost on their own, the trees themselves seeming to grow taller as you stare at them. You had said that you had been looking for mists. When you appear into this new area full of dead and dying, decaying and writhing plant life, you see nothing but rolling, thick mists.
And it's also no longer raining or storming, correct?
It is no longer raining or storming. I should change the music.
That was fine.
Correct.
That's fine. I was just trying to check because, again, I'm in a new place and I had a feeling that the weather changed with me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay. Well,
Correct.
Branson will give a hmm. He will do one quick check. Voice, are you there?
Silence.
Well, he did what he promised. And Branson will head back towards well, he will try to ascertain if there's any kind of natural or man-made path as he goes cautiously through this now misty forest, probably trying to focus on going towards large areas of the mist.
Roll me a survival check.
I would love to. Do-do-do-do. That's a 23.
You continue to move forward deeper into the misty area. But as you do, I'm sorry, but I have to ask for a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, no problem. 11.
11. You take a deep breath, not realizing the mists as they begin to swirl around you are closing in. And for a moment, your vision becomes hazy and almost like a camera unable to catch its focus. Your eyes almost see double, almost see no tangible shapes for a moment, and then zooming back into subtle clarity. It's getting difficult. It's getting difficult to see. Do you continue?
Yep. Though I will ask, is it like the one time I saw the mists before? Are they moving like that?
They are moving like that.
Then he is going to keep moving forward.
Okay. You continue to move forward. Are you looking for something in particular, or are you just continuing to search for mist?
He is again going for where the mist is thickest, and also like seeing if there's any sign of a path or trail. But again, he's focused on the mists.
You found the mists, all right. It's actually so thick that it becomes incredibly difficult for you to find a path. But with your previous survival, you do manage to find a path. And as you continue forward, I need another Constitution saving throw.
I was hovering my mouse over the entire time.
16. You just barely managed to steel yourself. You continue to move forward and starting to get a little bit more clarity. You feel something under your foot crumple.
I would. I'm going to ask, given his line of work, is it a familiar type of crumple?
Sounds like paper.
Oh. Curious, he will reach down and kind of fumble around for it. So I assume the ground is very obscured.
Decently so. But it's not hard to find because it's under your foot.
Mhm.
And you will find in your handouts
Ah, good.
what is under your foot.
Ooh, I love the font. Okay, make sure stream can read it. Yep, okay. Sir Wheel & Co. presents the Grand Carnival, exclusive entry, featuring dazzling and amazing acts by Charlotte the Fire Eater, Tyndall the Barker, and Professor Pakal, and so many more. Entry permitted one ticket per entry. So Branson will read that, and I'm going to ask, as a player, is there anything else besides this flyer?
There sure is. There's an envelope attached on the back.
Branson will reach in and, I assume, find a ticket?
Uh, Interestingly enough, the envelope itself somehow is covered in mud, and yet the flyer and the ticket are pristine.
Hmm. Well, since he's on edge and he's already cast one spell, and knowing that he has finally found the mists, he's going to just go, probably magic. He will fold up the mist, tuck it inside his coat pocket, and then put the flyer inside, like his, not the flyer, the ticket in his breast pocket, and keep moving out. He's still got his hand fixed on his axe at the ready.
And in this moment, I'm going to ask you for one more Constitution saving throw.
Alrighty then. Do. A 4 with a nat 20 on the other side.
You now, with this ticket and this flyer in hand, look up and your vision becomes really you ever walk into a room and like something about the brightness of the sun just hits differently?
Oh, you mean green vision. Yes, I do it with that every day.
Except it's not the sun. In fact, now that you've got a chance to really look, You haven't seen the sun in a while, which is odd because you just woke up and it was just morning. But you see no sun. Instead, you see dancing lights, a flickering of green and pink and blue. And as for a moment your vision almost fades, I'm actually going to pause you here.
That's fine. That was fun.
All right. With the added bonus to initiative, Sheila, are you ready?
Yes.
You very different but similarly to our good friend Razvan find yourself waking up. However, you yourself, though you are in the room of an inn, find yourself more so instead of being on like a cot or a mattress on are more so in almost like a nest of pillows. You realize in this moment of grogginess waking up that you had done this yourself. Absolutely. And furthermore, as you check your pockets, what you found in your dream is physical and tangible in your hand.
Okay. I begin by arching my back in, you know, the way I'm sure all cat owners are familiar with. I wake up and I observe the amulet in my hand. Um, a part of me wants to grab my toolkit and dig into it, but I realize that I haven't eaten in a while, so I put it back in my pocket and make a mental note to um, play around with it with my toolkit later. But first, I want to grab a bite to eat.
For sure. And as you enter your room, the room itself is incredibly plain, besides the pillows and the very empty, like, frame of a bed, because again, you did this to yourself. Um, there's a trunk at the base of the bed, but there's nothing else to this room. And unfortunately, there is no window, which always seems odd, but there is no window. The door itself leads out into um more of an open space, like a hall, like you have a hallway that is attached to a larger room.
Hmm.
um and it opens into kind of like this sort of like, I guess, foyer. It's not really fancy, very plain. There's, you notice, a couple potted plants, as well as like a chair in that sort of entry space. And of course, a staircase going up. What you immediately notice, given your passive perception, is the faint sound of music coming from down the hallway.
I start heading towards the music um, while nodding my head along. I hope that I can also find something to eat where the music is. I assume that if someone's playing music, it's most likely in the same area people are being fed and entertained.
For sure. And as you exit the space, you enter into, really, it's an outdoor sort of space. You see a bunch of bards gather around a what you understand to be a communal campfire with a bunch of different seats, like some stone, some stool, all around it. And what strikes you as particularly interesting as you look upon the sky is that that's not a sunrise, that's a sunset. How long did you sleep? I mean, granted, you're a cat, so it would make sense that you would sleep relatively long, but even for you, you're used to typical 8-hour nights. But here they are, and they seem to be boiling some type of what smells like, you smell beef, you smell potato, you smell carrot, you smell some spices in there. There's a little bit of, believe it or not, you smell turmeric. All in this giant cauldron that is bubbling and boiling upon this fire.
Okay. I make my way towards the bards, certain that I can use my charm into an interesting conversation and perhaps some of the stew that I can smell.
Hey, it's that little fuzzball that we saw from the other day. Hey, how's it going? You see this individual, this what you recognize to be as an earth genasi, with hair pulled back into a tight braid, skin almost with scarring that almost looks like cracks in certain places. They seem to be decked out in um more like traveler or adventurer's gear. And in their hand, you notice they have some type of like pan flute.
Fuzzball. I decide that I find the nickname more affectionate, and then I head over.
I
I'm
never
like, oh,
managed to catch
okay.
your name. I'm sorry.
The name's Onyx.
Oh, onyx, like the stone, like it. Easy to remember. Dig it.
Nice pan flute.
We're here for it.
Do you know how to
Thanks.
play?
Been playing it since before you got here. Do I know how to play it? Proceeds to pull out, um, you know, some really. Can flutes do riffs? Is that how this works? I'm not sure if that's how this works. But proceeds to play some some sick flute vibes, as you see another individual playing on like one of those hand one of those drums that you can like fit, like it's like one of those medium sized like hand drums that you can like hold between your knees, and someone's beating along playing it. You watch as these groups of bards are playing that. Another individual, this one being another Earth Genasi. They're kind of more on the androgynous side with more plain clothing, but they seem to be dishing out bowls of this what seems like stew.
Okay. Hold on one second. I'm just checking my items list because I know I have an instrument. And what do I have? I have a flute.
You
Okay.
choose to play it.
Um, I yank out my flute and I say, okay, how I'll add to this music. I'll help make it more cheerful for a bowl of that fine stew you have there.
Sounds plan. We're
And I
happy to have
sniff.
more people playing.
Yeah, I sniff towards this stew and then I pull out my flute.
Go ahead and roll me
And
performance check.
yes, I've been wanting to roll performance because I mean these stats on that. Okay, let's go. Yeah, yes.
Wow.
It's not just me.
Yes. Okay.
I'm back here like getting blown away. I just put my hands up. I'm like, okay, I'm not winning tonight.
Don't worry, I'm picking the
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah. You sure do play. Play you in fact do. And it is some of the, like, despite your hunger, it is some of the best music that you have performed in like a minute.
So I play the impressive tune. I wait politely for a few seconds for some applause before gesturing towards the stew.
You are handed a bowl of stew, and as you put your own flute down, the other flautist turns to you and goes, "That's some sick tunes, dude." Uh, I don't think I've ever, aside from like seeing you in the tavern the other night. What was it, yesterday? I think it was yesterday. Days are an illusion. Yeah, I've not really heard you around before. You play often?
I do.
Sick.
I say while yeah, I try to make conversation while also eating mouthfuls of stew.
Sick.
Yes. Mm.
Um, yeah, I don't know. We were in the market looking for some new people, looking for some new gigs. I don't know. This town is feeling a little like, don't get me wrong, I appreciate their hospitality, but there's only so much that you can do to entertain a bunch of folks before apparently they get bored.
Yes, well, I've been with traveling crews before, and boredom has never been a problem amongst our audience.
Yeah, it's weird enough. We keep running into it. I don't know. Maybe it's just like a curse or something, but we keep getting like major, like tough crowd syndrome. We keep running into people that just like, I don't know, after like the first two songs of the set, they seem unenthused.
Hmm. I chew thoughtfully and I think about it. A part of me is convinced that with my skills I can turn this around, but I'm also concerned that this crew might not give me the riches that I desire. So I think about it and I decide that I have no other prospects currently. So I turn and I say, perhaps I can change your luck. I've never had problems entertaining a crowd.
That'd be amazing. Hey, you know, I realize that you just came over, you just joined us, but we're actually going to be heading out to our next destination tonight. He reaches into his pocket and he pulls out once again a flyer. You will find this in your handouts. Yeah, we saw that this was going to be happening, and like, I don't know. Usually there are people when big events like this happen, there are lots they tend to attract lots of people. So we were thinking we were going to jump on this opportunity and like see if we can't gather a crowd. Maybe, I don't know, in like a ticket line or something like that.
I drain my stew. Looks promising. Maybe this is the event that will change your luck.
I hope. They all kind of nervously laugh amongst themselves in this group. Like trying not to admit that it's been really bad, but it's been really bad, and you don't need an insight check to be able to tell that much.
See that things haven't been going well for them lately and resist the urge to ask for a second bowl. I drain what's left of the stew and I put away the bowl.
Yeah, I you know, I really appreciate you willing to hang. I know it's super impulsive and like, people don't usually get along, but like it's nice to see a change of pace of someone more fortuitous and what's the word I'm looking for? I think the word you're looking for is gracious and empathetic. That one, what they said. That right there. That one. Yep, those words. Yep. And as everyone sort of comes to a close in their meal, the music dying down into its quiet as everyone wraps up their meal, wrapping up their song, you won't notice as they make no, and I do mean no hesitation to immediately just start packing and walking.
Okay, are they heading towards the inn? Where are they walking toward?
They're heading away from the inn that you just left.
Okay, I decide to do I have my belongings on me, or am I going to have to make a quick pit stop before I follow them?
I'd say to make things easier, you already have them on you.
Okay. Eager to earn some coin and confident in my ability to perform at the show, I don't immediately notice anything unsettling and I follow after them.
Oh, and it's interesting because as the lot of you begin to traverse down the road, eventually you find that the road itself leads very, very ominously into wild fields and eventually a forest.
Saris?
Yeah,
Hello? Oh, yeah,
I'm
you got
here.
cut off there. Sorry.
Ah, you're good. Um, the path itself leads into wild fields and forests. It seems that they're taking a road that is not like routinely traveled. Like it's a solid road, but it's not one of the main roads in the town. In fact, you yourself, now that you look at it, haven't really been to this sort of area of outskirts.
Okay, I look around my surroundings, and despite the enjoyable music performance earlier and a belly full of stew, some discomfort starts to settle in. So I look over to see who's next to me, and I just inquire to the party in general. Um, this is an unusual route. Doesn't look very well traveled.
I mean, it's just where we gotta go to get to the carnival. I mean, not a big deal, right? We just gotta follow the path. And I heard they were setting up tents over this way, so not a big deal, right?
No, no, not at all. I was just wondering if you'd get much of an audience with a path like this, you know?
But yeah, no, I mean, I heard I've heard that big events like this attract a lot of people, so I'd expect, you know, I, I'd ex we're taking a shot, we're taking a risk. I mean, if you don't want to come, you don't have to, but like we it's either that or we just straight up leave this town. And I don't know about you, I don't particularly want to do that. We don't
Oh,
particularly want to do that.
oh no, I'm in. I'm coming. Yes, definitely all in. I tried to calm myself and continue to follow.
As you get deeper into the woods, as you probably expect by now from me, the woods themselves grow darker, especially this late at night. You hear the sounds of something off in the distance, some type of groaning. You aren't entirely certain what it is. And after enough time has passed, you and the five other people that you were traveling with uh, start to walk amongst some rolling mist.
As we walk into the mist, is this groaning continuing?
Occasion, it's not anything super close by, but of course you can roll a survival check if you want a better read on it. Dirty 20.
Yes.
Yeah, you do still hear the groaning, but it doesn't seem to be. It's odd because it doesn't seem to be drawing near you. It also doesn't seem to be fading farther away. It also doesn't seem to be like a frequent occurrence, more sporadic, and arguably even more ominous than the groaning itself. The party that you're traveling with seems to not even pay any mind to it. They seem to just be walking forward with a purpose, almost like they're unfazed by anything around them.
I decide to close it. I decide that if I ask any more questions, they might um, tell me that I don't have to come with them, and I don't want that.
Give me an insight check. With a 14, there's something odd. Their behavior went from being incredibly lively and overjoyed and excited and kind of carefree to almost, I wouldn't say apathetic because that's incorrect, but more like automated, almost
Automated.
empty. Yeah, like they're just going through the motions. Like a person who isn't really paying any mind, bordering on dissociated, continuing to move forward.
I notice my party's strange behavior. I turn around and I notice there's nothing but fog behind me.
Correct.
So unsettled, but too scared to go back alone in the fog. I I try not to focus on how unsettling the party is. I don't make any eye contact and I just follow along.
And as you do, I would love for you to roll your first Constitution saving throw.
Ah, 10.
Your vision really becomes hazy. It's odd. It's like I mentioned before, the sort of in and out of focus, like your eyes can't just focus on something and stay in the present. It's like you're moving between zoning out and waking up and zoning out and waking up. For a moment, it feels like your legs are walking on your own behalf without you telling them to do so.
And I'm still able to move. I just can't see my surroundings.
Able to move. I mean, you can see your surroundings, it's just hazy. And
Hazy.
able to move, more accurately, it's not just that you are able to move, it's that you're moving against your own will.
And I'm being pulled in the same direction that they're going.
Correct.
Um, After, the nightmare that I had last night and the amulet, I'm nervous and suspect that something eerie is about to happen again. I'm fairly convinced that the events that I thought were previously a dream are no longer a dream.
And as you contemplate this, I would love you to roll your second Constitution saving throw.
Oh, come. 8.
That double nat 20 is coming to bite you right now.
Yes. No. I see it.
Yeah. You're not only finding yourself almost lacking in control of your own movements, but the fog begins to swirl around you, and the trees seem to be getting larger, more gnarly looking. You notice that the coloration of the world around you becomes more gray, more dull, like life is seeping out of them. And this includes the party members walking with you. Something about something about the coloration, the life that was in the five walking with you seems to be slowly, as if like dissolving from their being.
Look at them and I start to panic, and then I look down at myself to see if the same thing is happening to me.
It is not. But the mists are swirling around your paws as you are, as previously stated, freebiening it.
Okay. So swirling mists, hazy vision, being forced to move against my will, and the party and everything is starting to become discolored. I reach out my paw and try to touch the person nearest to me to see if they're there, or to see if since they're starting to fade, I want to ensure that they're still there. So I reach out to touch them.
Your paw fades through their arm like it was
At, the,
never there to begin with.
at this point, I panic and I start reaching out towards the other party members. Do
I
I?
would like
Do I just?
I,
Yes.
I would like you to roll a Constitution saving throw.
Okay, third time. Come on. That didn't go through. Or
There it
they
is.
did.
17. You are able to regain control of your arms as you continue to swat, but to no avail. They begin themselves to disappear, almost fading into the mists overtaking them. And off, gaining a bit of clarity, you see, though hazed from the mist itself, balls of green and pink and blue and purple and gold lights dancing around you. And as you begin to head towards the clearing, no longer with a party of 5, but with a flyer in hand and an envelope in the other, not only am I going to pause you there, but that is where we're going to take a break.
Hey.
Hey, hey, that was
Alrighty.
fun.
Yeah.
I
And
also would. I was thinking of reacting to the orbs the same way a cat would to a laser.
Oh, you'll get your moment. Hang on to that. You'll get your moment. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Also, since we're on a break, I can now say, like to thank you for gifting subs to not only Impact Frame, but Marches on. Okay, he's giving multiple subs here. Give me a second. Marches on Emerande and Xanalis Grim. Thank you so much.
No, thank you.
Yeah, now you can have a skeleton drinking emote, Zan. Enjoy it.
Finally.
The marketing campaign for this carnival is aggressive. Yeah. It's almost like
You got cut off at almost like.
Oh no, I cut myself off.
Ah, okay.
Ah.
It's almost like
Well, I
like it wants you to be there.
might have said in the chat while I was watching it for stuff and I wasn't contributing, might have said, "Hey, welcome. We're in a Stephen King novel. If it was a gothic horror." But yes, everyone, get up, get your stretches. I'll take the.
I
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I am actually gonna get up. I'm gonna warm myself up some food, and I will be right back.
Yeah, I'll stay here so that way I can entertain chat. Let you guys all get your breaks in first.
You know the
All
drill
right.
chat. Drink your legs, stretch some water.
Okay, when are we all? What time do you want us all to reconvene by?
As soon as possible.
Okay, I'll be back
Yeah.
in like 5 minutes.
That's fine.
Just ping us when you're back.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this has been super fun, and I'm glad so many people are enjoying it. This is easily one of the most attended streams I regularly have for these. So if you guys are enjoying this is going to be a long form campaign. So don't worry, we're going to be giving you plenty of content in a bi-weekly format. And don't worry if you miss any
Go. No, I didn't mean to interrupt you. What did you think?
That's best say. Don't ever have to worry about missing an episode because I will be uploading these all to YouTube. So that way, if you need a break or if you want to go through a bunch of episodes like at work, which is what I've been doing with Dungeon of the Mad Mage, and thank you for helping me get through so much. I'm actually almost at the point where you join, Zan.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm on about episode 11, and I think you join at 17.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Zoran is an absolute treat to listen to.
Oh yeah, the best part is because I have to listen to it. I'm not actually looking at the screen for the art that Bracky did. So every time he talks, all I really picture is that guy from Dungeon Meshi.
I can see that.
Yeah, I know. It's so great. I love it. Ugh.
But since it's just us three,
Mm-hmm.
welcome to the boys halftime show.
Oh yeah, yeah.
This one's for the boys.
With the boys.
I've already cracked one open, so that's perfect.
Fucking might as well do that myself.
No,
But I
Bubba,
should.
the human knight. Though we all stand bread dwarf. I'm actually about because somehow Dungeon Meshi is something that missed me for so long, despite seeing everyone talk about how good it was. But now, since it's become an anime, the group that hangs out after Saved by the Spell in our Discord are all just going to start watching it once we actually finally have a game. Because this week, I forgot to make a tweet. We couldn't do it because of family obligations of our DM and other player. So hopefully it'll be back. We're going to try to set a date sometime tomorrow. So it'll either be this coming Saturday, replacing No Love War Extra, or the Saturday next, where we basically just took a week off. I will try to keep you all posted. And also, for those who don't know, I'm about to start up a whole nother D&D campaign on Tuesday, which also involves us going to a carnival. Wow. I can feel the originality leaving my body.
Hey, art is never original. It imitates.
Fair enough, fair enough. Though, I am going to be a much bigger problem than Branson, which I think everyone in the group knows that Branson is like a quasi-problem child. I'm going to be the biggest problem child in that Witchlight game. Where I also get to test out another one of those lovely pact boons that we made for Pact Tactics. One that hasn't been seen before, Pact of the Pipe.
You.
I finally created a character besides Newt from Web of Deceit, who gives me an excuse to smoke while I'm streaming.
I mean, isn't that what we want? Just a character that allows our vices.
Yeah. I mean, I could have just gone full, tilt and just unpacked of the gourd.
Listen, all I'm hearing is that next time I have an excuse to make a drunk fist monk.
Go right ahead.
All right,
That can be
boys.
wasted on stream.
Boys, 2 seconds. I need to leave the boys' conversation and go to the little boys' room. Be right back.
That's fine.
Don't worry, boy.
Though, I was just realizing, here's an idea for a drunken master monk for you. A drunken master who is also a sommelier.
Ah, a wine master.
Yes.
The worst kind of drunk.
You want to know? Oh, also, Neko on Parade. Thank you for the follow. I'm glad you're enjoying this. But no, I am actually cursed. Wine can't get me drunk. It can get me
I mean, that's
buzzed.
close.
Yeah, like I would literally get buzzed on wine, and then like it would not last. It would not last me the night. I would have to follow it with like 8 beers. And
I don't know. Go
one
ahead.
second, GTX Maximo, thank you for the follow. I'm glad that so many people are vibing with this.
Why, hello, Maximo. How you doing? See you a lot of Moscow streams.
Yeah, I also want to point out one thing before we get back on whatever tangent we were going to do. Bubba, thank you for gifting Impact Frame a sub. They might be one of the artists that was commissioned to do stuff for this stream, specifically this game.
Oh my.
Yes, I always say, we stan our artists here.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter the medium, because again, remember if you like the theme song that you heard at the beginning of this, for $50 you can get that same level of song from X Wiley Willie. His rates are on his Ko-Fi. Go check him out. And
Drop the link in chat.
We
Yes.
back.
Welcome. Now,
Boys are back in town.
Boys. Remember, anyone can be a boy. You just got to be scringly.
Yeah,
That's the
Yeah.
rules.
though I will be right
Better
back
be
because
the
now
boy.
I need to finally use the bathroom because I've already had 4 beers.
The boys.
Go ahead.
I just came back to 4 beers.
There you go.
That's all I heard. Came back
And that's
quick.
all you need to know. Welcome back, Sheila.
Thank you. Okay, but yeah, I'm back here and I have a snack that I'm going to be eating now.
Oh, that's perfectly fine.
Welcome, snack.
Ugh. So, Wadley, wait. How are you doing, chat? How have you been enjoying the session so far?
And while you answer, Citric, are you ready? Are you pumped? Are you excited?
I'm always excited.
Hell yeah.
A default setting. But yeah, no, I'm the last one to go, so let's roll with it.
And I'm back with the boys, but also I now have great
Welcome
news.
back, boy.
Oh yeah, no, I'm so happy because earlier today I thought my washing machine broke, and I just checked it. The problem has fixed itself.
Huh.
Well, no,
You have to
here's
say,
go ahead.
sorry, I just popped in. I have to say I'm mildly disappointed that no one picked up on my Scott Pilgrim reference.
I didn't see it, but I am not also a Scott Pilgrim knower, so.
Oh, that is fair. That is fair. It's just there's the point what is it? This is Crash, and these are the boys. Is that girl a boy too? Yes. So I had when y'all were like, well, anyone can be a boy. Welcome to the boys group. I put in chat, is that non-binary? Also a boy. Yes.
Ah,
I missed it. Sorry.
Oh, I still love it. But yeah, so the issue with my washing machine, which it was just something that was annoying. So I have to do laundry today because this is my only day off this week, so I had to wash all my uniforms at once. So I did that, but when I went to unload my washing machine earlier this morning, like right after it finished, it didn't drain out the last of the water, so I had a pretty strong puddle like in there with all my clothes still
no.
sopping in it. I was able to get them into the dryer. Luckily, I had a bathroom mat that was in my laundry room that I could put down the floor so it didn't just keep making all the mess. But I was worried about it, so my mom gave me the advice of, well, try cycling it one more time and see if that does it. If not, then we'll try to think of something. So I cycled it a little while ago and then totally forgot about it. So I came back, all the water's out. I'm like, okay, good. I don't have to take the money I'm saving to leave this bad job I'm at and pay for a washing machine.
yeah, you can wash your hands up.
Yeah.
True.
I'll see myself out.
Hey. Listen, you didn't throw a pun at me, so we're already doing good. Got too many groups where my friends like to pun at me. Pun, the not even form of comedy.
Listen, some people like the punishment.
See, you haven't punted me off the stream yet, so you can't be that mad.
I will introduce you to my thoughts on puns. There is never a successful pun. A successful pun becomes wordplay.
So, You're picking a fight with the wrong person.
I know, but I've been picking this fight for like 15 years, so I'm throwing my hands.
Oh, here's the difference, right? You're gonna look me in the eye and say that puns aren't a form of wordplay? I got the degree that says that they are both valid in the way that a square is also a rectangle.
I can't fight you because I know your academic credentials.
Aha!
Well, I also can't fight you because I dropped out of community college.
Like, I have to say this. I have to say this. Literally, no shame to anyone who cannot or does not do the whole Kool-Aid thing. Because here's the thing about the Kool-Aid thing. The Kool-Aid thing is designed to crush its students with its bare hands.
Yep.
It is designed that way. So anyone who turns around and is like, yeah, I couldn't do the whole college thing, power to you. Proud of you for taking care of yourself and not forcing yourself through hell.
Well, yeah, no, college just elevated the fact that my ADHD is literally a learning disability in the fact that I can't retain math and science if I'm not constantly doing them. So, also having to do high levels of it, like, because again, you have to get certain levels of credits in math and science, and levels of math that I would never use in my day-to-day because I am a logistics guy. I do not need
Yeah, that
calculus.
makes sense.
The nail in the coffin is when, I think it was my second year, I was taking a math class that was just enough credits that I could not have to worry about ever taking a math class again. And the teacher had a heart attack halfway through the semester, and so we had someone who doesn't know math subbing for them for the rest of the semester, and me floundering.
I hate that for you.
Yeah, but luckily, to my knowledge, that teacher is fine today. They just had to take that semester off because, heart attack.
All right, Citric. I
Yeah.
want nothing but rolls over 18. You handle that?
Best I can do is a 1.
Nah, I need at least 16 higher than that.
You joke, but for season 0 of Ravnica, I got 320s in a row, like pretty close to what you had now.
Also, are we also going to tell Zan about the, what was it, like 5 nat 1s in a row that you rolled?
Oh yeah, balance, I guess.
Are we also going to talk about
Citr-
Go ahead.
Citric, we're gonna get along just fine.
Yeah, I was about to say, can we also talk about the time Citric tried to push through a tree?
There was a chance. There was a chance.
I just love that-
There was a chance.
I know, but still, I just love that, like, because I recently listened to, like, Districtly Professional because I was listening to all of Silvermere's content on YouTube because they finally put out their third Ravnica World video. And I just love that my character's response was watching, being confused, saying, fuck it, can I tell if there's anything behind that thing? Guys, do we want to just go back to that one path we didn't take and see where it goes, instead of trying to push through a sequoia?
To be fair, there was something behind the tree.
Yes! It was a wall that separated the undead from the tree!
Citric, you have to understand, we have dumb northern hemisphere logic. I'm sure you're fine. It's us. You're good. Keep pushing the tree.
See, it's all about this perspective.
Is this when I pipe in and say Sheila comes in? So we have the world, right? We have the southern hemisphere, we have the eastern hemisphere, and we have the western hemisphere all accounted for. It's fine.
We did it.
We
Yep.
did it.
Wow, so we're now also quasi-tied with C4, where we literally had a person from every US time zone in that game.
Oh, rip scheduling.
Yep.
Yeah.
It actually worked just fine because we were able to end the game before the person in Florida had to go to bed for work.
To be fair, for right now we had Sago, which was on Japan Standard Time.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I constantly told people, you think your scheduling is hard. I have to hit someone from Chile in a game with someone in Japan.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But we do have everyone back, so do we want to get started?
Yeah,
Yes.
good to
Let me
go.
finish chewing.
No, start talking.
Ah.
So the mist
All right.
starts chewing.
There go your legs. I don't know what to tell you. They're attacking. The mists have teeth now. And they have started. There go your legs.
I hate to be that guy.
You know, I can think of
Bran-
worse ways to go.
I hate to be that guy, but Brance is 110%. Sounds like a skill issue.
This one's fun. I'm glad we get to do this one last.
Oh,
Hey,
no.
Citric. You ready?
Yes, maybe. Yeah.
I mean, if you said no, I would just skip. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, I'm glad to know that I have the option.
I say as I joke. Immediately. Die instantly on stream.
So if we outlive the DM, do we win?
Well, now that I'm not dying, we find ourselves, you find yourself, in a slightly different location than, well, everybody else. Okay, there we go. Out of my system. Congratulations. Okay. So, let me see if I can find something that's fitting. Hmm. Hmm. So, you also wake up.
Mhm.
However, um, you are normal, first and foremost.
Hmm.
Um, and you are in your servants' quarters, as you have known them to be for the entire duration of your time here. Um, and again, whatever happened in that dream strikes you as really odd because do I even have the means to explain what it was like? But nevertheless, you wake up hearing the dinging sound of a bell alerting you to your station. It's time.
Humphrey sits on his bed, trying to get out of the daze of waking up and just the weird feeling of having basically bone and muscle again. The entire situation of being back to his body is really in one hand it is reassuring to feel that sensation again, but on the other hand, the lingering feeling of uselessness of not being able to move sticks with him to some degree.
Yeah.
However, he shakes his head, and as the bell keeps ringing, he gets up and gets himself ready to start the day. There is a schedule to follow and no time to get lost in dreams.
And it's not difficult for you to immediately find yourself as you open the door to the bustling and, you know, many different chores, many different people, many different hands, as you've always seen. You notice, though, and you don't know if it's just you or if it's because you didn't sleep well, but everything just sort of feels off. Like, can't necessarily put your finger on the specific vibe that you get around you, but it almost seems like you weren't the only person who is just not feeling it, not doing it today. But every single person is still doing their jobs.
We will take note on that, but obligations come first. If he has any like moment when he overlaps with someone else doing a job in a like taking care of a room or moving things around, um, he will, however, make note like everything okay this morning.
The person that you know to be your supervisor stretch his back out with a big groan, just as I did, um, and looks to you and goes, "Well, I'll be honest. I don't know what hit everybody in their sleep last night, but I don't think there's a single person in this building who doesn't have some type of dreary sleep forming all over all top of them. But still got to get work to do. Work is work, and work is needed to be done. And the master is, of course, the master, loving their routines every single day as they do every single day."
That they do. So I will let you up to your to your routine as I will follow up on mine.
Sounds like a plan. If you do need anything, of course you can call, but I think it would be best for all of us collectively to just keep to our duties and lay a little low today. It just something fishy's happening. Can't put my finger on it. Don't know what it is, but
We'll be on air then.
he sort of pats you on the shoulder, just gives you like a firm little shoulder squeeze and a nod and begins moving off to his duties.
He
And
chuckles to
mm,
himself at that, and he goes back to his work too.
you what would you say your usual work entails?
He helps mostly with various jobs. Not much a fixed thing, since a lot of his duties have to do with basically I'm forgetting the word, security. But he also helps with the upkeep of the estate and running errands for the family.
Hmm. Running about doing your usual work.
Hmm.
And all of a sudden you hear, and I don't think it'll pick up on this time, but you hear a very firm knock at the front door of the mansion.
Hmm. Humphrey will stop what he's doing then and move towards the door.
The knocking continues up until the point when you reach the door. Um, do you look through the peephole? Do you just open it? How do you approach the situation?
Peephole first. The knocking seems to be rather intense, so I rather assess who is on the other side.
You see, well, looks almost like a paper boy. Small, probably no older than like 11 or 12 years old, pounding on the door.
Humphrey will open the door. Good
Uh,
morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Um, I'm really, really glad that um that you opened. I've got I was sent over to mail to get mail. I have mail for you. And the for description's sake, the child in front of you, again, couldn't be older than like 10, 11, 12. In just like this is a child probably from the slums, right? Like this is a child who's covered in dirt. Their clothing isn't incredibly cleaned or well cared for. Clearly, it's very obvious that they try to. And the um hair seems to be shoved underneath some type of hat to keep it from getting dirty or for getting not knotted. Um, and sort of shove. He's got this little bag that he's just shoveling around, and oh, it's not there. It's not there. It's okay. It's this one and this one, and he starts just pulling out um, all of these different pages out of um out of his bag, one after another, and they're all different envelopes. Um, Although you do notice that it seems like a loose piece of parchment with something attached to it, shoved in the middle of it, but I digress. Over and over and over, just this giant, it must be like 15 to 20 letters until eventually kind of flips back through them again, making sure they're all there, and here it is! Holds it out to you.
Thank you very much. He will take the bundle of letters. We seem to have a lot of mail today.
I haven't had a chance to stop by recently. I know it's really bad. I'm sorry, but I tried to get here with as much as I could, as quickly as I could. Hopefully this helps.
It certainly does. And we appreciate a diligent worker. And so Humphrey will actually slip him a silver.
Oh, you just made his day.
Yeah. And winks at
That's
him.
like that's like candy, you know? Just lights up like it's Christmas. Takes the silver in both hands. Are you sure, sir? I could give you I could try to get you change.
It's perfectly fine. You seem to be doing a lot of work, and that must be rewarded.
And he just kind of like runs down the stairs screaming, super excited.
He actually looks at him kind of nostalgic as the kid goes away, but he closes the door and back to the routine.
Do you look at the letters at all?
Certainly, if they have to go to specific people within the house, but I assume they are mostly all directed towards the madam.
With the exception of two.
Hmm.
Well, there is as you probably expected by now, seems to be a flyer tucked in there with some type of envelope attached to it. Once again, your handouts.
Hmm.
And that is addressed to no one. Um, there is also a singular letter addressed to you.
Oh, we will cook an eye with all of that and proceed to inspect it.
Doesn't seem to have a return address.
Hmm. Okay, just Humphrey's name.
Yep. First, and if you have a last.
Hmm. He will keep that in his back pocket for now, and priorities are what priorities are, and he will deliver the mail to the madam.
Thank you, darling. I will take a look at those in a minute. If you could just set them over on the end table. I am clearly busy with other things as she is currently in the process of having essentially she's sitting in front of a vanity, clearly doing her morning routine, makeup, hair, the lot. Her door to her grand room is wide open. And so you are able to see just the lush and ornate decorum, and of course um the aforementioned the aforementioned end table that is like right beside the door. It has like a vase, like a really fine porcelain vase on it with a bunch of they're about 2 days old lilies sitting there.
Hmm. Mm. You seem to be rather required today. That is certainly a lot of mail in one bundle. The paper boy said these were apparently stacked. They seem to be short of staff to deliver them.
That's a pity. I hope nothing came to me too late.
Let's
But
hope not, madam.
I will, as I said, once I'm finished here, take a look at it. I appreciate you being diligent in answering and collecting all the mail, Humphrey.
My pleasure, madam. Will you need me to change the lilies?
Would be amazing if you could do that, darling.
Then I will do so. Humphrey will take the vase and, with a small bow, take his leave. Going to the gardens, he will actually take some time to like inspect that letter.
Hmm. It's interesting. Um, the letter itself, you open up the envelope and you notice there is a piece of parchment in it. You notice there's a bone fragment in it. And you notice there's a crow feather in it.
So this is the first one. Bone fragment feather. What was the first one?
A piece of parchment.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. He inspects the piece of parchment. What is this about?
The letter, actually. Or at least some type of note. Um, it says, well, it has the words, "You know where to go," written on it.
Odd. The feather is a crow feather, but as far as the bone, can I identify what kind of bone it is?
Medicine check.
Will do. Well, that's a 10. 20 on the other side, though.
Don't need to have a huge and thorough understanding of anatomy to recognize that this fragment clearly came from a skull.
Hmm. He would put all the pieces back to the envelope and the envelope back in his pocket. That is certainly odd. And we'll pick up the lilies and return the vase to the madam's room.
You do, and she is humming to herself, mindlessly doing her usual routine as I stated, taking her good sweet time, probably lost in thought at this point.
He will do his best to place the vase without make much noise and just leave her to her routine.
You have a flyer in hand, you have an ominous note. crow feather. Skull
Hmm.
fragment.
Actually, yeah, before leaving the room, he will stop himself. When he was trying to be on notice before, he will knock to get the madam's attention. Um, Sorry for my interruption, but among the mail we received a flyer about a carnival.
Interesting. Didn't realize that carnivals came to this area of town.
Sharn is a rather large city. I am not surprised that we get these kind of things, just difficult to find the space to put it, I guess.
Hmm. I mean, I have no interest in going personally. If you yourself have some free time and you decide you want to go, I won't say no as long as you have all of your duties done. Um,
I decided to bring it up because the young miss may be interested in seeing the carnival. I don't think she has any tutoring today.
maybe, but unfortunately, I'm not sure unless of course you plan to accompany her.
I would not leave it alone, of course.
Mm. Well, if that is something that she wishes. She may. But again, you must be finished with all of your daily duties before you go and do that.
Of course, madam. Then I will be back to my duties then. Sorry for the interruption.
Hmm, no worries. Now was a good time.
Hmm. And with a short bow, he will go back to his daily routine.
You do. And your daily routine goes over relatively swimmingly. There is still this looming air of just offness, weirdness, but nothing happens. Nothing odd catches your attention beyond the letter and the flyer which on second pass you note has no location written on it.
Hmm. You will actually ask to other people of the staff if they know anything about this carnival.
Um,
Hmm?
you talk around amongst various different members of the staff, and everyone collectively seems to either shrug, shake their head, or seem to have no idea, you know, why they didn't even realize there was a carnival coming to town, or that carnivals even came to this town. That's not something that's very common here.
Hmm. Well, it seems to be an interesting mystery then. Uh, I shall postpone the idea of, uh, I guess, pleasure trip there, just rather checking if the place exists at all. Hmm.
You, you're kind as you sort of question whether or not the place exists at all. The your supervisor looks to you and says, "I mean, if you want to go and take some time today before the end of the day activities to go and see if it even exists, I mean, you're more than welcome to do so."
Certainly so. At least if there is a, well, my original reaction was to give the young miss something to entertain herself, but this is rather odd. The fact that there is no address given. Uh, I guess my curiosity is getting the best of me. I apologize.
None taken. I mean, I'm sure if the mistress said for us to go, for one of us to go and take her in your stead, I'm sure would be asking the same questions.
I
In
understand.
this in this moment, would like you to make me a wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom will do so. That's an 8.
You hear a voice in the back of your head. You know where to go. Just trust your instincts. You know.
He will shiver at that. Did you hear something?
Huh?
Never
No?
mind.
Okay.
I'll
Proceeds to
be back.
continue working.
I'll be back to my duties.
Sounds good. Sounds good, Humphrey. Just keep doing what you gotta do, buddy. As you get closer and closer to the end of the day, that voice plays almost on loop. You know where to go. Just follow your instincts. You already know. Almost like a nagging echolalia, or I'm sorry, echolagia that's just constantly there. But you finish your duties without a hitch, and there's still time in the day before the evening duties. Do you wish to follow?
Humphrey will make sure to make the supervisor know that he's taking his leave for the night, and making sure to keep his short sword at hand, because by now he's rather unnerved by the echoing voice. He will go out and roam the streets, trying to find this carnival.
Roll me a perception check.
Will do. 8.
It's really hard to know where to go. But something does catch your attention. Not what you're looking for. It's not a sign of a carnival. You see a wisp of purple pinkish light flitter along the central road leading towards the town, away from the mansion, before it vanishes.
He will follow that light, but cautiously so.
There you get a little bit closer, another one appears, lingers for a little bit, and as you draw closer, fades out.
Hmm.
You continue until eventually these pink purplish wisps lead you not into town, but rather the edge of woods. And as you approach the tree line, you see one of these little balls of pinkish purplish light sort of dancing, as if waiting.
He will approach then.
And into the woods you go. It doesn't take long. I'm sure you recognize this song and dance at this point as a player, but it doesn't take long before the woods start to grow dark, where mists begin to roll in.
A chill runs down Humphrey's spine the moment mists start to get involved. He does not like that at all. But he keeps walking.
You keep walking. And eventually there reaches a point where those little wisps fade entirely and dissipate, leading you on a road that's headed straight and narrow in the middle of these woods. Mists billowing around you, beginning to cultivate. I'd like you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Will do. Consistency. That's
8!
another 8. Yep.
8! Amazing!
You're
As
you're one. Sorry, never mind.
no, you got no. Do it.
I was just gonna
Do
say,
it.
you're one off from the first Spike Chunsoft game.
Good. You find the mists begin to circle around you. And it's odd. Your legs start to have this tingling sensation. Like when you hit a nerve just wrong and it shoots up that limb. Both of your legs feel that way.
Humphrey stops and tries to like wake him up, like pat them up. And like, the fuck.
Odd.
Hmm.
You pat your pant leg. That's not flesh. You don't feel the stiffness of muscle underneath the pant leg.
Humphrey stops with a chill on his spine again and touches his face.
Your face, for now, still feels like a face.
Something is wrong. Humphrey will start to walk back from where he came.
You turn around and the entire path is covered in mist. You can't see down the road, if there even is a road.
Again, the growing mist has him sweating cold right now. Hello?
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 Hello? Hello? Hello? Hello? Hello? Your voice echoes.
He's still himself, and even if he can't see the path, he's trying to walk back.
Roll me a Constitution saving throw with disadvantage.
Wonderful! That's a 6.
A 6!
Went down from 8.
You go to take another step as the mists begin to engulf you, and you find almost like you're tripping over yourself. You you begin to feel yourself almost like not only lose your footing, but your leg feel like it's incapable of standing. Same with the other one. As much as you try to move forward, you are unable to keep your bearings. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Will do. That's a 15.
You're able to somehow keep yourself upright, mainly with your hands in this moment, but your legs, the entirety of the lower half of your body right now is just pins and needles, and you are unable to keep yourself up.
He leans on a tree if possible and sits on the ground. And again, try to get his legs to move, putting every effort he can into just have them work as they should.
You watch as you go to pat your leg, as the pant leg almost begins to deflate, as if like putty, squishing before reforming into its original form. Roll me one more Constitution saving throw.
We'll do so. An 11.
11. Your arms now begin to feel that tingling sensation. You look to your hands and you watch as flesh begins to grow translucent and glowing with an orange as it morphs and melts. No longer flesh, no longer hand and bone, no longer tendon and skin. Hands and your legs no longer fit inside the clothes you wear, like putty, malleable, flexible, elasticity of such that you've not even seen before, alongside maybe some solidified tree sap. Feel your chest, boom, boom, heart beating until even that in and of itself becomes muted and your whole body pins and needles. Do you try to stand?
He's not even trying to stand. He's trying to crawl away. Like whatever this is, he wants to get away. And he is panicking.
Roll me a strength check.
15.
You manage to pull yourself along, army crawling practically, on your hands and knees. Slowly but surely making your way through the mist until eventually it parts. And clear of eye, you see opening into a clearing. A myriad of pink and purple, blue and green dancing lights swirling upon what you now recognize to be a red booth. Inside with a little red reptilian creature sitting inside with a little black suit and a little black hat. Your eyes sweep across the clearing. Oh no! Don't BRB!
Okay, I'll
Your
wait. I'll wait.
eyes.
Sorry.
You're good. You're good. Your eyes sweep across the clearing. And you watch as you see people of all shapes and sizes, children, you see humanoids, you see creatures, people with wings, you see people with different colors of skin, you see reptilian, bird-like, a very myriad of creatures all swarming together to gather a line. And all four of you, as you enter this clearing, here, step right up. Tickets, please. Tickets. Tickets for the carnival.
The moment Humphrey starts seeing more people, he's not even stopping to evaluate them. He is panicking. He starts yelling, "Hello! Help! Help!"
Do we
All of
recognize?
you,
Oh,
all of you hear the call for help. And as any of you choose to look, you notice this poor ooze-like creature, of which I will have you all describe yourselves once again, practically crawling on all fours. Actually, Citric, if you want to go and describe Humphrey at this state, please do so.
Yep. Humphrey is right now, well, not standing, he's laying on the floor, but standing at 3 feet tall, like barely. He's uh, basically a round blob with arms, legs, and in a tiny round head with two knobs like ears on top. He's wearing well, what was part of his uniform as a butler. Uh, all that remains on him is a short cape and a hat, a bowler hat. The make of his slimy body is kind of like messy gradient that goes from yellow to orange to magenta to cyan. It's very bright, very colorful, but right now he's on the floor like splashing around, not barely keeping himself together.
Razvan seeing somebody that he recognizes from the dream he had the night previous, he's gonna rush back, sliding on his knees next to Humphrey. Dearest Humphrey, are you all right?
Hi, you. I remember you. Can you help me, please? I need to get on my feet again.
Moving to assist Humphrey, Humphrey would see again a very tall and slender man whose features easily mark him and identify him as something akin to the undead. His skin, lips are frigid, and the coloring of his features are almost that of the no longer living. Despite this, he sort of acts much more lively and has a smile to him, even though he's obviously concerned about you at this point. But you could still see the freckles and broken eye makeup from a late evening, kind of on his face. He also kind of motions towards you in a very darkened cape and doublet, trying to shield you from something that could potentially harm you, brandishing a rapier over him as though something is attacking you. Even though I'm certain nothing is.
Please help me get on my feet, please.
Of course. Are you all right? Who vexed you this way?
I don't know. I just not this again. Not this again.
Have I returned to the dream? Kind of looking around.
I saw you last night. This was supposed to be a dream.
I thought very much the same, and yet here we are. Do you see the others?
Onyx.
Humphrey looked around. Yeah. Go ahead, please.
Onyx saunters over to the others. She's distracted by the lights, batting at things around her. Still groggy from the mist, but she becomes more alert when she sees the two companions and saunters over to them. She is a tabaxi, so a cat-like humanoid, about 4 feet and 11 inches tall. Her fur is mostly gray. She's dressed in a tunic, pants, and, as we've mentioned before, free beaning. Apart from that, she does have a cloak and a backpack on her. It's you. The two of you. I knew it. I knew it wasn't a dream. And then she reaches for the amulet and squeezes it, further proof that it wasn't a dream.
How is this possible? Don't get me wrong, I am ever so pleased to see both of you if I am to be lost in such a state, but this is, like you said, something more than a dream, and yet all logic of reality is defied as though it were a dream. Is Brunson here, perchance?
Yes. And you'll just see that, like, he just appears behind you. Yep, he doesn't have his axe choked up on anymore. He's now just kind of, like, leisurely keeping the end of the handle in his thing. And for the sake of descriptions, you'll see someone who is wearing, like, basic commoner's clothes, but, like, with a bunch of random armor bits attached. Like, none of them match each other. Like, he also is missing armor in certain areas. He's basically just somebody who knows armor is useful, pulled it on, but he was not buying it. He was basically pulling it from wherever he could find. And he lowers his hood to reveal that he's a Yuan-Ti, which is a snake-based humanoid, but I do him a little differently. The signs that he has reptilian nature are a slight bit of fangage shown, bifurcated tongue, similar to like how certain piercing enthusiasts do, but most importantly, a trail of scales that start around like under his eyebrows, surrounding his eye, and then leave trails down the sides of his face, along his jawline, and from what can be seen from his attire, go down his neck and onto his shoulders. Uh, he's currently sheathing his axe and then also closing his lantern and just going, well, I walked through a fey circle and found the mists. I can't hear the voice that tells me things anymore, so I guess I'm where I want to be.
We are in the realms of the Fae.
I do not know that. I walked through a circle that was enchanted with fey magic. And when I got back, I had no sense of the Fae.
They
Interesting.
beat that creepy castle with the moving statues.
Did
Looks
any of you-
around.
Did any of you perhaps see a young woman named Lily?
I
No,
was
I
alone.
have not seen anyone.
Never mind, never mind. Who pushed you over, Humphrey? I will have biting words for them.
That, never mind. Just, I assume by now I am back on my feet.
Roll me a dexterity saving throw.
Will do. An 11.
Barely. It's so weird. Just like it was in the dream, but now, like, you're here again. You have to readjust to standing up. It's weird. It's odd.
Humphrey takes up his short sword, and once again he tries to use it as a cane to stabilize himself.
Well, I suppose a bit of context to understand where I'm at might be able to be more accurately portrayed if I give you mine. I thought I had a dream of all of you last night, and I thought perhaps that my mind was returning to normal, but if anything, it has become far more strange. There was a flyer when I awoke within the tavern that indicated there was a carnival, and I thought mayhaps that these traveling bards may have been the cause of inspiration for my inspirational change. But
Flyer
upon
with no
trying,
address.
yes, but I found what I thought was a little girl who was also going, and I, of course, was going to escort her to the carnival, and she led me into the mist-covered woods, only to reveal herself not as what she was, but perhaps something far more sinister. Now I am here, trying to understand and make sense of any of this.
A group of bards, you say? Well, I traveled here with a cheery group, but they just vanished into the mists. Poof, I make a gesture with my paws.
Oh, celestials above, I am so sorry to hear.
Well, the voice that tells me things, finally, finally decided to make good on a 5-year bet. It told me that if I followed these tracks, I would get to the mists. I found what I thought was signs of a skirmish with a werewolf, found a fairy circle, and stepped through it. I found myself in a forest of death, and found myself here.
And I, for my part, just got a letter that said, "You know where to go, among a bone and a feather."
Interesting.
We got put together last time, dragged from our sleep. Whatever that sleep was seems to have dragged us back here again.
Whatever
From
was in
there.
our shared dream, or perhaps not a dream, which we all met, we were deceived, or at least attempted in such. And we woke up. And now we are back here, through no small means of further deception. I wish I could say that I trust all of you, because what little we have gone through, you have proven yourselves to be trustworthy people, and yet my mind screams for caution as nothing around us seems as it seems. But as we have nowhere else to go and no one else to trust, he'll kind of place his rapier back into sheath and offer a hand. Once again, I am Razvan Fleur.
I
I'm
am
Onyx.
Branson. I cannot afford a last name.
I Humphrey, making sure like he can stand, offers his hand. I am Humphrey Downrail. I agree with you, Mr. Razvan. Caution is always advice, but we seem to be the only constant amongst ourselves for now.
Oh, that is a good point. If any of you were trying to deceive, I imagine you would have already made some form of change by now.
Wouldn't be that sure. Remember, we will once already deceived by a ghost. What I think was a ghost.
It
I will
was.
trust you as far as my intuition allows me to. But let's get our bearings and try to find out what is this place and what are we doing here.
A better
Eh,
question. Does anyone not have one of these? And he will just reach into his pocket and pull out the ticket.
With steady hand, Razvan will pull out his ticket.
Well, I followed a traveling group here and was asked to put on a show. Oh,
Humphrey's about to say that he doesn't have one, but he stops himself and goes for the pocket on his short cape, and takes again the envelope with the bone and the feather. Looks inside.
wait, did I only have a flyer?
No.
No. Oh,
Upon second look, you look at the flyer, and sure enough, there's an envelope attached to it.
right. I opened the envelope.
Admit one.
Okay, I waved my ticket in the air as well.
As far as my envelope,
Admit one.
there it is. Yes, I have one too.
For everything I have pieced together, from what legends to stories to first-hand accounts that I have heard of strange myths like this, it is best not to wander them, especially not alone. But if there are creatures, as I suspect, perhaps this carnival is the only place we will find those bearings.
Then let us search. And Branson will reach down because he can see Humphrey struggling. He will hand him a torch from my explorer's pack, and then help him sheath his weapon because it is not good to use a weapon like that as a cane. It dulls the blade. And then he's just going to start moving towards the admissions booth.
Step
well.
right up. Tickets, please. Tickets, please.
Master Bronson, I have trouble recalling the lantern you carry. How does it work again?
Branson will just, again, thumb flick it down. For those who are visualizing this, because I might have taken a large inspiration from the series. He has a hooded lantern that is similar to the lantern used in the anime Pumpkin Scissors. So he just thumbs it down and it opens up, and about 30 feet of light shows. What color is this light? I ask both.
Currently,
Yeah.
it's natural.
It seems to be of natural hue.
If this light ever turns blue, there is an undead within 300 feet of us.
All right.
Well, that's
Well,
useful.
Yes. But then he just turns to the barker, holds up like the ticket between two fingers, and just waits for him to do whatever he does.
Really quickly, Citric, I apologize for accidentally interrupting you. What did you want to say?
No, I said everything I want to say.
Okay. You walk up to the line and you notice, I don't know if all four of you go up to the ticket line, but you notice that, like I said before, there seems to be a bunch of various types of people, um, all of which very colorful in nature. You notice a stark contrast in the coloration of the people, and of course, now that you're coming closer, the myriad of various tents that you see in different shapes and sizes, various coloration, all seem to be bright and vivid. Over top of the ticket booth itself, you see all of these different dancing lights. Even farther into where this carnival seems to expand into, is all of these dancing lights. But you also notice that beyond this clearing and beyond this line of people, that everything else is shrouded in mist, and everything shrouded in mist is dulled in its color and or full on decayed and decrepit. As you approach, tickets, please, tickets. Ah, yes, I see a ticket here. Thank you very much. And the red kobold leans over his booth. You now realize he's been sitting on like a really, really high stool, and he swoops his hand down and picks, takes the ticket out of your hand, Branson. There we go. See, one ticket. Admit one ticket. Here. You need this. And he hands this folded, colorful piece of paper in your hand, like almost shoving it. And I am going to reveal to you as you open that pamphlet up the first of two maps.
Ooh.
Here we go. It is a map. And he'll just turn to everyone. Give him your ticket.
Hands over ticket.
Yeah,
Sounds
I
like
see
it.
one ticket. Ticket one, admit one. And I see one very, very handsome feline. Handsome or beautiful? Feline. Yes, excellent.
I love the roller
Makes
coaster.
purring sound.
I love the roller coaster of I don't know your pronouns. I will say your species.
Whatever you are, you're hot.
Yes.
Humphrey will hand over his ticket as well.
Razvan
on,
will also
Mike.
hand his ticket.
See, you got it. You gotta hold it. You gotta hold it straight. You gotta hold it straight. Gotta let me take it. Gotta let me take it, man. I got it. Ah, there it is. I got it. Admit one. Admit one.
Alright, I will just read these off and you tell me which one you think we should start. There is at the most northern point the big top. Next to that is Mr. question mark or just Mr. as a question. The amazing soulless man. The other side, Lundy the strong, the ring toss, Isolde's wagon, which what? Whatever. Pyorrhea, Bobbin for apples, Silesia the snake, Nightmare Wonderland, Hall of Mirrors, Hall of Horrors, Sorindria the mermaid, and then he points over to the closest thing, which is bullfrog racing.
So a carnival. We expect to get what's going on in here.
I should also ask, what is a carnival?
A carnival traditionally is a place full of joy and splendor. It's a place for you to forget your worries, but nothing about this place gives me any sort of ease.
Certainly the Hall of Horrors doesn't sound very inviting.
Yes, the bullfrog racing might be entertaining. Might be a good start to the carnival.
At the very least, if it is a race, there might be others in attendance to watch it. We might be able to at least glean some information from them.
That sounds like a sound course of action. I would agree with that. Yes.
It's also the closest thing to us. Starts walking over towards the bullfrog racing.
Follows Onyx.
You all approach this tent. It's a bit more rundown than some of the others, but it's still pretty strong. It's actually rather sizable. As you peer inside, you see this entire obstacle course, um, complete with like those little like stokes that sometimes they'll have um animals kind of run in and out of. You see various different those sort of like fences that they have. I'm blanking on the term, but like those little like fence pieces that people have to hop over. You see a variety of different like holes in the ground, like pitfall holes in the ground. Um, and you see next to this giant obstacle course is a pen of, when I say bullfrogs, I'm talking bullfrogs of unusual size. I'm talking these things are at least 5 feet tall.
Oh.
The
Oh.
Yeah, I was gonna say this would be the first time since our dream adventure you've ever seen Branson be startled. He's just like, I was not prepared for this. Oh, also the word is hurdles.
Thank you.
Turtles.
I have great sorrows for the one who has to clean up after their droppings.
What do they feed them?
Oh, gods, I shudder to think.
Yeah, after thinking that, Humphrey will make sure to stand behind someone else. Like, putting a barrier between him and the frogs.
Well,
You see standing at the front, sorry,
no.
um, standing at the front, you see a relatively short woman um who's probably at about like 5'2", human woman with her hair pulled back under a bandana, wearing vibrant for those of you who are fashion nerds, come and join me. She's wearing French Renaissance styled
Mm.
clothing. But what's interesting is she's wearing commoner's clothing, but in bright, vivid greens and blues. Step right up, place your bets for bullfrog racing. Place your bets for bullfrog racing.
Branson will just nudge Razvan, being like, he won't even say anything, just be like, go talk. As you know, he basically just defers to all of you as the brains.
Apologies. We're new here. Is there a type of coinage that would be most appropriate to bet with?
Mean, any currency is good currency. We accept any and all coin. We also accept ticket. We also accept, for those of you who are from lands beyond, we do accept pebbles of all shapes and sizes. We also take on occasion those little weird like rectangular paper things. Any currency is good currency if you can use it.
I see. Kind of leaning over towards. Is there a bullfrog within like reach? I shudder to ask, just quietly to the bullfrog. Croak twice if you are sentient.
It blinks one eye and then the other.
Right. 1 gold on the other one.
Are in fact 6 bullfrogs that you can bet on. 6 bullfrogs. Which bullfrog would you like? And
Well,
you
now-
look, and they have numbers painted on their foreheads, 1 through 6.
Well, now confronted with this realization that there's more than one, which he should have known, he's gonna feel bad about the one he initially dismissed and bet on that one.
That would be bullfrog number 1.
Let's go.
Meanwhile,
Humphrey's still trying to get his bearings from the weirdness of it all, and again, the fantastic out of nowhere, like body dysmorphia. Um, he will stop and try to examine the bullfrogs. Like, what can he gather from their physique? Like, which one looks better fit?
They all sort of sit there with their various throats quaking, as one does. Number 1, as you saw, was blinking one eye and then the other. You watch as bullfrog number 6 looks at what you now realize is a whole pixie that has been fluttering about, and it snaps its tongue out, catches the pixie, and eats it.
He shudders at that.
yeah, I'm getting Ari Remake 2 vibes where when you find the hunter betas. That's a very gruesome animation.
Yeah, but if I recognize this is a bit strange, but we are not in a place where nothing is normal. So, what I can say is, in my experience, betting, winning or losing, is a social event, and we might make some form of acquaintance, regardless of the outcome.
While he's
I will
saying
follow
that,
your,
oh,
I will follow your lead then. Sure, I'll put a sovereign on the number 6.
2 things. First, Branson will look down to Humphrey and be like, "Do you need a lift? You're very short."
I appreciate the offer, but I will try to stand by myself. Thank you very much.
Oh,
Okay.
such pride.
Okay, Branson will then just cross his arms, and I would like to just, while everything's going on, just make active perception checks to see if Branson hears anyone talking in the 4 languages he knows, because 2 of them are red flag language. Well, actually no, one of them's a red flag language, and the other 2 are not regularly spoken.
It's true. If they're ever speaking common, I'm on alert.
It's on site if it's common.
Yeah, well, yeah, I was about to say, if you also need me to list off my languages, I can give you them.
I would love that if you don't mind.
So, of course, common. Then he knows infernal, and he knows draconic and celestial. Celestial is the red flag.
You do not hear celestial, but you do hear a little bit of draconic happening.
Okay, can I perception check to try to perceive what they are saying to try to learn more things?
Sure.
Thank you.
Sure.
– 11 and 22. We're starting to go in numerical basis.
Mm-hmm.
You hear, "Oh man, I tried one of those appies. It was gross. I didn't think appies could taste like that. Have you tried? Do you want to try this?" No, 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 no. Get that away from me. I saw what it did when it was in your mouth. I am not touching that appy with my hands. Thank you very much. You can throw that out, please. No.
Meanwhile, Branson, hearing that, will just mutter to the rest of the group, "The food here is suspect. Be careful."
Duly noted.
Be shocked if there was anything that was not worth suspicion.
Hearing Humphrey say that, Branson now is like got a 1,000-yard stare trying to figure out how Humphrey would eat.
And Onyx's ears, triangle ears, just droop when she hears that the food here isn't good.
So, Mr. Branson, Mrs. Onyx, Will you place any bets?
Oh no. Oh no. These creatures do not look agile enough to race. And she looks at them. No, I'll just observe.
Well, very well. Keep a keen eye open for anyone who might be overly invested in the game, for any cheaters of sorts, as they likely would know how the game is rigged or how the rest of the fair may work, or for those who are so unattentive that they simply are here for business. That may also give us a clue as to what kind of people we're dealing with at this fair.
One of them could have been the one who lured us all here.
My thoughts exactly.
Meanwhile, Branson has not uncrossed his arm, is just giving off the muscle energy of, I will try, but you just asked a lot.
It's fair enough.
So I have two people placing bets. Here's how this is gonna work. You thought that this was just gonna be all theater of the mind. That is incorrect. Razvan, you voted on number 1. Citric, did you vote on number 6? Which one did you vote on?
Number 6, yeah.
Yep. All right. For the duration of this little mini game, Razvan, you are rolling initiative on behalf of Bullfrog number 1. And Humphrey, you are rolling initiative on behalf of number 6.
Will do. Would that just be D20 or...
It is an initiative roll.
with my initiative. Okay.
Yes, with your initiative. And before you're like, wait, that seems like cheating. You called it before I said it.
So you want us to roll just our regular initiative or D20?
Yeah, your regular initiative.
15. No.
15.
No.
You got beat by the minimal percentage.
Wait. 3 and a 3. No, those are equal. Those
Yeah.
are flat equal. Those are like perfectly equal. Okay. Well. All right. We see as number 4 is going in the lead. He jumps over top of that hurdle and he makes a wild dash for the Stokes in the middle of the obstacle court. We see that number 1 and number 6 are neck and neck in second place.
Real
I
quick, Sarah.
see.
Because apparently looking up the rule, it doesn't require knowledge, just that they can hear me. Razvan's gonna try and put on a show to give bardic inspiration to frog number 1.
Okay. Sure. I'll allow it. What do you do?
Putting one leg up high on some random box. Behold, frog number 1, placed as such, so heavy must his burdens being placed. The guilt for losing, if he is to do such, would be immeasurable. Imagine having a number 1 and not coming in first place. I believe in you, frog. We all believe in you.
Humphrey will look at Razvan if he had a face to make facial expressions.
Eventually, we'll find a way for Humphrey to make the Excalibur face.
I believe you technically can actually do that with one of your racial abilities, can't you?
Yes. I believe so.
Oh my gosh. Ah. And we see frogs 3 and 4 tailing in the 3 and 2 tailing in the behind as number 3 smacks right into the hurdle. He is knocked out. Can someone please check on frog number 3, please? Thank you. Can we get a medic, please? That looked really bad and he's bleeding from the top of his head. And I would like everyone to roll initiative a second time.
Will do.
Everyone, or just people invested in frog
And
racing?
people invested in frog racing.
I was about to
No!
ask.
Frog enthusiast.
Frog NASCAR! I was just beginning to become a fan.
You do have bardic inspiration. Is that a D? Is that a D? D6?
At this level, yes.
Interesting. The frog is going to use your bardic inspiration, feeling strangely invigorated, though not understanding why. And it looks like frog number 1 is taking the lead as he jumps into the pond and begins to swim, with frog number 6 coming in surprisingly in second place. Frog number 4 taking the leap of faith and failing upon the pit of nails. And can someone get can we get another medic in here, please? I thought I didn't understand why this was. And we have number 2 trailing in the behind once again. I need one more initiative for this.
Will
for
you?
this.
Come on.
Let's go.
Come on, frog number 1. I've never been more invested in an initiative roll. Yes! Let's go!
Damn!
And you watch as this frog leaps into the air and, in the most majestic way possible, extends all of its limbs and jumps across the finish line. We see number 1 making it in the first place spot, with number 4 coming in directly behind it, almost beating it in a tie, but not quite. We see, last but certainly not least, number 2 sticking its tongue out and getting it caught on, I don't know why it shot its tongue out at the fence, but it got its tongue cut out on the caught on the fence, and it is now hanging over the line. Can someone cast the awakened spell on these frogs, please? Jesus Christ. Right, for those of you who betted on frog number 1, that's frog number 1. Please come over and collect your earnings.
Don't even care that I've won. I care that you won, frog. I feel like such a fool for doubting your intelligence. Please, accept my winnings in my stead.
You're immediately gonna see Branson put a hand on you, trying to hand the winnings to the frog. Like, no.
I'm trying to earn favor with the locals.
He is going to give you the most "Are you a dumbass?" look.
Yes.
He is literally just going to. He is going to Jackie Chan Adventures uncle you 2 fingers between your eyebrows. No.
Look.
No? Keep that. We might need it. And I would like to say, like, since we weren't doing anything, we were letting the frog race happen.
Yep.
Could Branson have, like, during that entire thing, not paid attention to the race and tried to incite anyone who seemed like they shouldn't be there or were out of place?
Roll me insight, sure. Is it just the people around the booth?
Yeah. I was basically told, like, expect people who are, like, here to possibly do business under the guise of watching the frogs, or people who look out of place who should not be here. And there's the insight.
Ooh, very nice.
24.
At least right here, in terms of the people currently surrounding the booth, it does in fact look like everyone is supposed to be here. It looks like everyone is equally invested, and while you see a mosaic of different people from various different places, some species of which you've never even seen before, it looks like, with the exception of the woman, as previously stated, who is collecting bets, everyone seems equally as invested.
Okay, he'll just after just disciplining Razvan, be like, I checked the crowd. Everyone was here just to watch frogs.
All right. And perhaps you're right. Thank you, Bronson, for bringing me back to the semblance of reality. I thought maybe if I indulged in the preposterous that it would begin to make sense, but no, you're right. I should cling to some form of reality. Good job, Mr. Frog, but these winnings are mine. Is he gonna take them and pocket them?
You pocket a total of 5 gold pieces.
Let's go.
First of all, you're going to see Branson do that thing where they smack their face and then drag the hand down. And then also he's just going to be like, also, you've been saying my name wrong for like 2 days now. It is Branson, not Bronson.
I am so sorry, Ed. Will you ever forgive me? It was such a slight.
Again, are you a dumbass? Look, yes, now let's check out some of these places. Let's look for the weirder ones. They might lead to stuff. Though, he turns and points, I want to say it's northwest. There's one place that does not seem to be an attraction. And he points at Isolde's wagon. That is either dangerous or the place where we might find answers. I'm not sure. The other wagons are not marked on this map.
Keen observation. Do either of our other fellows, Onyx or Humphrey, have I been saying your names wrong as well?
No, you have been saying
Nope.
my name perfectly fine.
Oh, thank heavens. What are your thoughts on the situation?
As things
I agree
stand,
with- I agree with venturing over to Isolde's wagon.
the centermost point of the camp, at least, if that isn't of any help either, we will be closer to whichever other option we have. Right now, we have to admit that we are just going blindly. So, no really bad options, honestly. Do not feel bad, Mr. Razvan. This was entertaining.
Actually, I would say there's several dangerous places on this. And again, like, I want to think like we've pulled away slightly from the bullfrog races, but we're not at any of the other things. And Branch just has up the map. Like, Nightmare Wonderland sounds terrible. Silas the Snake. Also, Mr.
Hall
Question
of
Mark.
Horrors.
What?
The Hall of Horrors.
Hall of Horrors. That actually seems like a place where I might do the most work, but we're not. It is within 300 feet, and it's not turning on the lantern, so I don't care about it. But my point is that there's several things here that make me wonder, especially the Soulless Man. But
Perhaps this Isolde and her wagon, or their wagon, might give us a clue.
All right, then lead the way. He just gestures.
Real quick, is there any Bullfrog #1 merch on sale?
I've also been holding in. Someone's gonna have to at Shell. We have given them enough to eat well.
Razvan is going to start moving towards Isolde's wagon, but is going to kind of motion over towards Humphrey, handing him a single silver piece. I would never dare to take money from a friend.
I appreciate that very much. Thank you.
So,
Humphrey will take the coin.
I have a very important question.
Yes.
I understand where your destination is, but based on the map, where are you headed? Which direction are you going? What are you passing?
I would say.
Oh,
Get there.
okay.
I would say from like.
I would assume.
Go ahead.
I would assume the Hall of Mirrors if we are going in a straight line.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah, basically,
Yeah.
the Hall of Mirrors. Like, we're going to be walking right between Hall of Mirrors and Celessa the Snake.
Like, why don't all 4 of you roll me a perception check?
Okie
Will
dokie.
do.
Can I choose to fail?
Please don't. Please don't.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Soft 20.
We did pretty good.
That's a 6.
Sheila, do you want to?
Yes, I'm rolling 1 second.
Heck yeah.
There are 2 wolves inside this party.
I'm going to start with the highest and work to the lowest. I know I usually do the other way around, but there's a reason for this. Razvan, You notice first and foremost, most people are actually keeping to the dirt path. Branson, you know this as well. But Razvan, here's something that you find particularly interesting. See, as you're kind of peering out into the crowd, looking to see what there is, you notice of a trio of three women, all of which who seem to be wearing headscarves of vibrant different colors, wearing a combination of clothing that clearly does not, as a side note, match the color of the clothing that or like color style, even, you know, if you will, cultural aspects of the people that you see running this carnival. It appears to be what I can only describe as like, yes, very colorful and very vibrant, but it looks to be more like a collage of color. And the clothing itself seems to be more aligned with like not adventurers' gear, but like the clothing of folks who are well traveled. And these three women also, as a side note, look very, very similar. Um, and you just hear them cackling amongst themselves. One of them twirls a golden bangled earring, um, as the three of them just kind of saunter walking through, seeming to almost throw like what you can't really hear it because they're too far away, but it looks like almost making like commentary as some of the passerbys. And I'd like you to roll me, Razvan, a quick insight check.
Let me get to insight. There it is. 17.
The person that one of the three women, when they toss out a comment, she makes eye contact. You follow her eye contact to the person. You don't quite catch what she says, but that the person looks mortified at her and like scurries off, almost trying to hide in the crowd.
Huh.
Branson, in addition to noting the general pathways of people coming and going, you notice that no one's really, like, interestingly enough, no one is actually heading towards the wagon. And it's not even just a matter of like, oh, people aren't entering the area, as for example, and I will point this out to you now as you kind of have a better view of it. This building, this building, and this building all seem to be food stands. So people are like approaching, you know, the Hall of Mirrors, um, Celessa the Snake, along with the different food stands, but like nobody seems to be, and Razvan, you would notice this too. No one seems to be approaching the grass circle around Isolde's wagon.
I would
Hmm.
say, noticing that, uh, just because we're in unfamiliar territories, everyone would see like Branson flare his coat slash jacket and kind of not go for his weapons, which you know he has several on one side and his main one on the other, but he is just going to then put his hands in his pockets. He's not even trying to present his weapons. He is just getting in, being ready.
Anything we shouldn't be aware of?
Everyone is avoiding this area. There may be danger.
Or perhaps we are walking into the area of social pariahs, of which I am not, I suppose, unversed into being in those circles. Is there anything else we should be concerned about?
1 second.
In this map,
Can I actually try to flavor something? How close are we to Celesta the
sure.
Snake?
I mean, if you are following along the path and you are trying to go, you know, to the wagon between the two, I guess it would really depend on like where on the path you are. So like I'm gonna ping for a second. If you're walking between the two right here, you're gonna be equidistant between Celeste the Snake and Hall of Mirrors. If you're here, you're closer to the Hall of Mirrors. If you're here, you're closer to Celesta the Snake.
I think the first ping you did, where Branson is just keeping an eye out for snakes because of the one thing that Yanti get.
You do
I mean, they
see
get a few
snakes.
things.
In fact, additionally on that 20 and 15 perception check, you do actually notice, interestingly enough, a woman with who appears to be humanoid at first, but you both notice um, copper and brown scales emerging and growing from her face, down her neck, underneath her clothing, and onto her hands. You watch as she seems to be swaying a little bit, humming a tune. It's difficult to hear over the noise, but you hear her humming a tune, and you watch as three different snakes of various lengths and sizes seem to be swaying in accordance with her.
Okay. If any snake comes near Branson, he will do the animal friendship with snakes only, if only just to try to use something that never. Sorry, I'm choking on my own
Don't die.
phlegm. Yeah. He will do something that basically almost no one ever gets to do, which is use animal friendship on snakes as a Yanti.
Is the young lady who was in distress, is she within like approachable distance?
You've lost that person now. Though you do see the three women, though, and they seem to be passing by the tent headed off this way.
Real quick, am I getting the vibe of like you can't sit with us from those three, or are they just minding their own business?
I'd say from the perception check here and from your insight, yeah, a little bit of you can't sit with us energy,
Okay.
like a good smattering, yeah.
Then Razvan will kind of keep an eye where they're going, but try to pay attention more towards what Branson is doing.
And at this point, I'm gonna jut in here because I'm not done with these perception checks. See, I understand, and for those who are new here, I understand most DMs would ignore the sixes. But see, I have something planned. Humphrey and Onyx, your attention is immediately diverted to, well, I've never seen a cat with beams out walking on two legs. Get a look at that. Wonder what kind of kitty that is. Here, kitty, kitty. Psst, 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 psst.
I hiss.
You look over, and it is an old, wrinkled lady with a tasseled poncho sitting in a chair outside of the Hall of Mirrors. It's a rocking chair. It's a wooden rocking chair, seeming to be rocking, and she's like,
It's even funnier because Discord ate that laugh, but made it still robotic enough that everyone heard it.
yep, good, good.
Yes,
Here,
I hiss.
kitty, kitty,
I
kitty.
hiss
Psst,
at her.
psst,
I
psst,
definitely
psst.
hiss.
Wow, this one has a lot of things to say and a lot of opinions. I really appreciate it. I love a good cat with a lot of opinions.
I stop hissing at Good Cat. Then I look over curiously. I look at her
Seen a
hands to see if
walking.
I'm being.
Hmm?
I look at her hands to see if I'm being offered anything.
Oh no, she's kind of snapping her fingers at you, but she's got like a whole ass crocheted sock in her hand and like crochet needles. She
Oh,
then
okay.
looks
I
to she then
wander
looks
over to her.
okay. She then looks to Humphrey as she watches you approach and goes, "Well, I've never seen a blob with two legs. Are you Jello?"
uh, pardon, madam?
I've never seen a blob with two legs and two arms. Are you made of jello?
I do not believe so, ma'am.
Fascinating.
Uh,
Well, I'm adding this one to the bucket list before I die.
Your
Can I
noise suppression just makes
close
every
enough?
laugh funnier.
You said
It's
only
like,
Can I-
it's like a
approach the door,
perfectly
right?
cut scream.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Oh, can I approach close enough to bat at the yarn?
Go. Are you doing this stealthily, or are you just doing it in general?
Oh, I want to do it stealthily while she's distracted by
Roll me
Humphrey.
stealth.
Yes. Yes.
That's an
Why?
1 second. That's an 18.
Hmm?
I'm just
Yes.
saying.
It is an 18.
I'm just saying, call out your rolls because a lot of people actually listen to this on YouTube.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, you're fine.
18.
On an 18. Well, young missy, I see you're very, very cat-like, and I see that you want my yarn, but I need this. And she swoops it off the ground.
I move my paw quickly, but it just hits the ground instead of the yarn.
It sure does. Fast one. I do love a cat that actually has brain cells. Good job. 10 out of 10.
So, who might you be, madam? Since
Oh,
we are
um,
indulging this interaction.
lovely folks here at this carnival call me Auntie Grimhilda. You can call me Madam Grinhilda, Auntie Grinhilda, or Grimmy is fine.
Duly noted. A pleasure to meet you.
You yourself. Seen so much orange.
Yes, something I am getting used to myself.
I like it. It's a good color. I'm not one for orange myself. I don't look good in it. Makes me look older than I actually am.
Humphrey looks at Onyx again, like he has no expression, so he kind of tries to like shrug, see like what?
Onyx just has her head tilted, trying to discern what expression Humphrey's making.
Insight. Insight on Humphrey. Do it.
A 19.
What?
No, that's a nat
No!
20.
Yes. Yes, it is.
So, what can Onyx discern?
Yeah, Humphrey's trying to say like, what? Why are we doing this?
Well, for those who have seen Session 0, I want to imagine the only way that he can emote is with the ears.
Yep.
Yes.
Thingies on the top of your head, do they bounce?
I do believe so, ma'am. So,
Can I try it?
I would appreciate it if you didn't.
Damn.
With the yarn taken away, Onyx whispers to Humphrey, we should probably head back to the other side. I don't think there's much information we can get from here.
Fair enough. And he will
We start to
tip his
slowly
hat.
back away.
And Humphrey will tip his hat at Rami. And good evening, man. Hope you have a good rest of your day.
I always do. And I can't wait for you to come back around. They always do.
Until next time, then. He will whirl away. Again, using the torch that Branson gave him to stand himself because he's having trouble walking.
You're getting more accustomed to it, I would say. You're still a little shaky, but it's you've been standing long enough that you're starting to get a feel for your newfound, shall we say, legs.
That's a little bit reassuring for himself and for him, and he will go back with the group.
Seeing you using the cane and getting better with it, Branson will just look at you and just go, "No, you're doing it wrong." And he will kneel down. He will take his hands out of his pockets, hide his weapons again, and he will see which is from having watched you, see which is your dominant leg and which one's weaker, and he will change up your hand. You want to use your cane on the hand with the weakest leg. Not the weakest, the opposite. So your right leg is stronger. You use the cane on the right.
Duly noted and appreciated. Thank you very much.
Pardon me for asking, out of more than just curiosity, out of concern. Are you injured in some way, or are you, again, pardon if this is forward, an older, blobby gentleman?
No, I would say, well, things considered, I am a rather younger one. It walking has just been an issue.
Branson will just do a quick hand movement at his feet at Razvan, at his feet at Razvan, and just be like, he is trying to convey he has no bones.
without conveying that, without saying anything, Razvan's gonna look back to you like, yeah, I know, isn't that weird? Without saying anything though.
And again, a thing you haven't seen because he was all business during the session 0. You're just going to get this big wide eyes, like the most emotion he's probably shared in years, being like, I know we're dealing with this. But okay, we're heading towards the wagon.
And actually, as the four of you reconvene and begin to traverse the grass, separating yourselves from the rest of the crowd, this is actually where we are going to end tonight's session with a mission in mind and suspicions on the table. We will have to wait and see what happens in 2 weeks.
Okay.
Ooh,
Yes.
heck yeah.
Well, this has been awesome, and I can't wait to see what happens next. Like, literally, I wish we had 2 more hours.
We do
I wish-
in 2 weeks.
And we do
Yes.
in 2 weeks, exactly.
Oh, but yeah, this has been great. So let's start going around the horn with whoever needs to leave first, which I think is Sheila.
Good call. Yes, well, thank you everyone for a great session. I thoroughly enjoyed the racing frogs, the glowing light orbs, and the Jackie Chan reference. So I will see you in 2 weeks.
I'm giving you a salute. You can't see it.
Yeah.
Okay, signing off.
You can also find Sheila at Mugi Miracause on Instagram.
Yeah.
They're still learning. They haven't been on one of these shows
Yes.
before.
Yes, this. She's still learning. We will get her there. And I'm actually going to take this opportunity to steal the mic. Hello. Thank you for coming to session 1, folks. I hope you had a good time. You can find me all over the internet at TixDixel, where I am writing, drawing, and being consumed by brain rot. You can find me here on this channel every other Saturday, going through hell and back via No Love War Extra, and you can find me every second and fourth Sunday as your DM for this particular campaign. I am tossing the proverbial. I think for this campaign, I think we're gonna go with a bone. I'm gonna throw the bone to Zan.
Oh, that's me. You can find me over on Twitter if you're brain rotted like me, I guess. Over at Zanny_Grim. You find me over on my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/ZanlessGrim. Words are difficult. Where I will be maybe going back to streaming Halo 5 again, or for the first time rather, for the last stream on Tuesday, but kind of up in the air. Aside from that, Things are gonna be pretty easy until like mid to late March on my end. And aside from that, go Bullfrog number 1. We believed in you.
Fuck yeah, Bullfrog number 1.
I'll pass the bone to Citric.
It's me. Hi there, I am Citric. I draw stuff sometime, and you can see those sometimes in places like Twitter, Blue Sky, or Instagram, or Tumblr, or whatever places. But pretty much everywhere I am at Citric King. So yeah, looking forward to more of this, and I hope you guys enjoy the blovilada along the rest of the party. And that leaves us with our host. So throwing the bone back to Vaughn.
Oh, hey, I've got plenty of these bones. But hi, you've already found me here at twitch.tv/burnoutVaughn. You can
I
find
have
me
none of them.
Nah! Okay. But yes, you can find me on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Blue Sky at Burnout Vaughn, and on Patreon at Burnout's Bar, where eventually I will make more rewards. I will validate this Patreon. Right now, if you want to go join it at $5 on the D&D tier, there's a free subclass for you, the Pack Hunter Ranger, which is all about advantage tactics and boosting the party. That being said, tomorrow we will be streaming more of Resident Evil 4, the remake, as I and the lovely mod who is helping us right now, Zymacide, play our D&D characters from our other bi-weekly game, which is Saved by the Spell, where we play through Strixhaven, and we are doing 2 wizards back-to-back who are from the same family, so we're Wizard Sibs, and we're playing games. Aside from that, we also, again, possibly this Tuesday, will be starting a Wild Beyond the Witchlight game, with all of the Chulta personality crew. And before I forget, Saris, I think this is actually going to make you warm the cockles of your heart, since we became friends from Chulta personality. El Robot here has a quote of the night. So, for 100 bits, thank you. The quote of the night goes, "Good job, Mr. Frog, but these winnings are mine." Getting back to the going around the horn. Yes, we will possibly have either Saved by the Spell or No Love War Extra this weekend. We are still trying to figure it out. And that's pretty much it for us for now. And I know who we're going to raid, because we've been supporting so many friends of the channels tonight. We're going to raid the DM4 Web of Deceit, as well as many of our players from Saved by the Spell. One Farting Tart, the Pudding Pastry. So what should our raid message be?
Go Bullfrog number 1.
Yeah, go Bullfrog number 1. Thank you all for coming out. We will see you again in 2 weeks. Get ready for some spookiness. We love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.